Tony though, or Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah.
That's fun. This will be fun. This is a good little way to start the show. Very good guitar player. Am I right?
Finding some peace. Oh yeah, she's great.
So good.
So good. She plays a custom 24 too.
Yes. Wow. Who would have guessed?
Who knew? Who knew? Not me. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's some tranquility right there. Hold on. I'm probably gonna get flagged for that, but who cares?
Yeah. Well.
Caleb, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Angel. How are you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Crazy stuff happened it's 2024. The whole world is done. We're going around another rotation around the sun. Was it gonna be different? Is it gonna be the same? I don't know.
It seems like there is going to be a lot of change in the new year, but not change that we want.
Okay.
I mean, maybe I don't know. Change some people want, but definitely not change that I want.
What are some things that you saw happen in 2023 that have shaped you going into 2024?
Oh well, Ukraine is a strange situation. Israel is a strange situation. Hamas is a strange situation.
Okay.
There's a lot of strange stuff going on in sports still, which I don't understand. Let's see, what else? What other 2023 stuff?
Oh, personal stuff maybe. You know?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I had part of my mouth removed.
Oh, I wasn't going that far yet, but
But no, other personal stuff. I've been married for a year now, which is the best thing I've ever done.
Nice.
Crazy.
Nice.
It was definitely a decision I'm glad I made, and the best thing I've ever done. Let's see, what other decisions? I don't know. I work at a crazy job with you.
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation in the next 30 minutes.
Yeah, still, but that's another change. We still are there.
Yeah,
a year
still,
together.
yeah.
Oh, we're getting more together. What else? How about you? What things changed? What changed for you?
That's a good host right there. You're like, how about you?
I'm like, God.
Nothing really. Like the crazy things that I've learned over are just like, oh my God, like next year's gonna be even worse. Like there's nothing exciting to look forward to. Like,
oh really? Come on, nothing exciting.
I guess I should push myself to better and like more achievable goals. But like spontaneously looking forward to things, like I don't want to see. I mean, I'm gonna have to watch the Marvel universe because I like it, and I'm already so invested that I'm not. I've spent 10 years watching it. Whatever they pull out, I'm going to watch it and then judge it. So
if the problem is the Marvel universe, then yeah. Okay, if we're talking about that, yes. There have been a lot of stranger changes.
What about Hollywood in general? Isn't Hollywood in general just dying? Like, we got lucky with, what was it, Barbieheimer? We got lucky with that.
Were we lucky?
But everything else was a disaster, they said. They said everything else that all their studios were pushing out were just crap. Disney crap, Marvel crap.
I mean, I would agree with all the crap, but Netflix is still kicking ass.
Okay.
I mean, I would agree that, and Hulu still pushes out some great, maybe crap, but I still love it. I don't know, that's really funny.
Isn't like
Hollywood has been dead for a long time, though. I mean, we have to think that everything that's getting put out in movies has been made like 2 years in advance.
Okay.
And so it's been in post-production for 2 years already. And I don't know.
Are there just like rehashed ideas that have obviously been around for like 50 years?
Well, and that's the Disney problem, right? That's what's going on right now. But there's all kinds of other franchises being pushed back onto us.
Well, I heard, I don't know how much. See, this is where controversy comes in because they're like, oh, you speak this way, you speak that way. But I heard the Daily Wire is starting to do more of their own original content, kind of like Netflix has original series.
Okay.
The Daily Wire is doing that, but it's a lot of right-wing kind of things.
Well, I'm sure that subscription service is available for people if they
okay, this is what's crazy though, which is kind of funny and it's cool, is like they had a show called Lady Ballers.
Okay.
Which is about males trying to join a female athletic team.
Oh man.
But because the transgender rules and stuff, they were allowed to. And it's obviously absurd,
I mean, that sounds perfect.
See, but what happened to like us being able to laugh at something like that? That's like we can't do that no more.
But we can. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, we can, but then we get shunned for it a little bit.
I mean, I guess that's true. But yeah, I mean, in the last year, you're right. The climate in that sort of sense, especially in regards to those kind of rights and people not necessarily understanding what to call people and getting in trouble for that, has definitely escalated on a, I don't know, global scale, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. You were laughing at the beginning about that Joe Rogan podcast where we were saying that America has the most gay people.
Yeah.
I mean, per capita, maybe.
Yeah.
But there are plenty of other places that have gay people. I used to get in trouble because in high school I would say, I think the reason that gay people are increasing is because biologically speaking, our species, said to itself, hey, we don't need any more people. So let's just stop procreating. If we make them not want to fuck each other, and other species do it all the time. Lizards, I mean, every other species does it.
Yeah.
It's self-limiting population.
They're just like, we know it's getting too populated.
Yeah.
Let's drink the water.
Yeah, you don't need to procreate. What do you need to have offspring for?
That's crazy. That's a good premise for a joke.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, you can turn it into something funny if you want.
But it is funny because that's hilarious. Like, how much do we not think like, oh, well, see, that's another thing too. Is overpopulation a bad thing? Are we really overpopulating the world?
No, not. I hear we're not.
I hear it either. I'm like, I feel like if we overpopulated the world, it would be a good thing because it should transition it to a more enlightened kind of thing.
Well, maybe, but unless we can't feed everybody.
But see, that's the thing is like we put too much of a commercial value on things, right?
Yeah.
And that's what's kind of hard. Like,
Well,
the you can go into like the whole paper industry and the way that they have a market on that and they take down hemp and like all this bullshit resources that we can use to have better like growing and like substance and like being a better person, but yet gets blocked away or like suppressed or like put in this shell that's not being able to be like used or enforced. We're going into conspiracy territory, but
Hey, it's a safe place. You're okay. You're amongst friends. Remember, you're on the internet.
I know everyone has an opinion here.
Yeah, it's okay. You're safe. It'll be okay.
Somebody thinks the same way as me somewhere out there. What did we say? The 1%?
Yeah, exactly. That's all that really matters, right?
Somebody's gonna like to see a OnlyFans of somebody that we don't like to see.
Yeah. Anybody. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The 1%. That's all that matters.
Dirty Bear Claw.
Oh no. Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny. All right, I wrote a couple of things maybe we could talk about. I was going through. You know about the YouTube star Mr. Beast?
I do know who he is.
Yeah, he's always doing like crazy challenges and like millions of dollars and stuff like that. Yeah. People are saying that his videos are starting to be turned into more of like weird social experiments now.
Oh, I mean, I've seen a few of those. Yeah.
He recently just had, I think the past 3 were pretty weird. He got 2 people that locked in a room together that didn't know each other and they had to spend time for 100 days.
Right.
I mean, that's with cameras on you and
the
like
whole time.
Yeah, isn't that a social experiment or is it cool because it's for clicks and views?
It was weird. I'll admit that. And then he did that other one where he locked the guy in the grocery store.
Yeah, see that weird too, right?
Very weird.
But it's like it's a social experiment because what would somebody do in those situations? And we got to see it unfold. Here's the thing though. Is it what kind of those producers behind the scene things where they're just like, all right, you're in a grocery store all by yourself, go. But then there's cue cards in the back being like, hey, get a little crazy. Hey, do a little something weird.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. But
isn't that like Maury and Jerry Springer all over again? Like that's what they do. They're like, they have a problem. There is a problem. But then they make sure that like, hey, if you're coming on our show, you have to do something extreme before you go out there. You can't just be like, I want to talk about all my problems. Like they enforce that. They're like, it would encourage it.
I'm sure there is some prodding, but that's what reality TV is too. I mean, nothing's real anymore, right?
Yeah. Everything's
kind of scripted. But I mean, sure, I'm sure it's I mean, The one that I watched, the grocery store one, I don't think it was very scripted. I mean, they were kind of dicks to him the whole time. I don't know if you saw that one. They basically gave him $10,000 every day he stayed in.
Yeah.
And I think he stayed in.
But then he had to like sell stuff from the store.
Yeah, exactly.
To be
Sell
able
him
to...
$10,000 worth of shit every day, or $15,000 worth of shit every day, and pick what he wanted. And then they gave him a pool and took away the electricity and did all kinds of crazy. Yeah. Ridiculous shit. Yes, I agree.
It's weird, right?
Yeah.
It's
so
weird.
I mean,
but that's like the internet now, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, all the social influencers, that's all they're about. They're all about that clickbait stuff. They don't care about, I don't know. You saw the South Park. I don't know.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, well,
I'm so sad I haven't seen it yet. The one about Prime, right?
Yeah.
Where they're like, cred,
yeah,
get all the cred.
Get all the cred.
And I love the word that they use, because like get cred.
Well, right.
Isn't that credentials? You're just like trying to be cool, getting cred.
You got to get some cred, bro.
Isn't South Park just geniuses?
Oh, they've been geniuses since their inception, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got in trouble watching them in middle school for the first time, because again, went to that little Christian school, and
that's crazy.
Oh no. You can't watch that, or The Simpsons.
And that's even crazier that was more categorized too.
Oh.
I remember spending a night at a friend's house and they couldn't watch The Simpsons. I was like, "What do you mean you can't watch The Simpsons? It's a cartoon."
Right. It's a cartoon. Oh, but we were watching like Larry Boy, Veggie Tales, and shit.
Oh, see, I got a little lucky. My parents weren't as strict on certain things like that. They were like, I kind of was raised on TV. They're just like, let's throw him in front of a TV so we can go do our thing. We got problems. We got our own thing. He'll be fine. He's sitting there watching it, so
he's okay.
It's okay, yeah. And they pass by and see stuff like South Park, and then all of a sudden, it's just a cartoon because they don't pay attention to the whole episode, right?
That's fair.
They see like a little glimpse of it, and they're like, oh, okay, whatever. He said bastard, whatever. We say that all the time. That's fine. That's fine.
I wish my dad was on pain pills. He'd come sit down and watch it with me. Be like, okay, no.
This is the
Is your mom home? Is your mom home? We can watch it if she's not home.
So, but that's cool too, though, is that your dad kind of saw like, why are we suppressing him so much?
Oh, he would let me watch rated R movies. He would let me watch. He would let me watch anything. The first movie he ever let me watch was The Exorcist.
Oh, crazy!
He made me watch it.
That's so crazy.
Then he made me watch Rambo: First Blood.
Nice.
I was like, okay.
Nice. That's sick.
But yeah, stuff you don't tell your mom, kind of stuff.
That's kind of like, I don't know. That's kind of, oh my god, my dog is bugging me right now.
Yeah, she's fine. He.
Her name is BB-8.
They.
BB-8.
They.
Oh
BB-8.
man. All right, give me 1 second.
Yeah, no worries, bro.
Before we do that, I am gonna leave you with something, and you comment on it.
Oh.
Your little commentary on it.
Uh-oh. I don't know if I'm good at commenting on things. But that Tranquility song was pretty cool.
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
Copyright claim.
She's pretty cool too.
Oh yeah.
Dun 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 dun.
Ah.
What am I looking for?
The
Jesus.
dog is bugging
I know,
right
she
now.
is so bad. She's like, you are not giving me attention right now.
Nah, you're fine.
So see,
you got the SE.
Isn't that a little bit easier though, having like a cat? So look, my cat will never bug us.
See, but my cats would.
They would, but is that bad though? Like if it comes on and I pet it, we're at least hanging out and stuff. My dog really wants to go outside. She's like, "Let me go outside, dude. Let me go right now." And I'm just like, "But you were just outside 4 minutes ago."
Yeah, I mean, one of them, the one Bessie Sue, one of them, he would be fine. He would come up here and just purr and ruin the audio.
Oh, okay.
What's the other one's name? The little evil one, Susie. Susie would come in here and just bite your head and annoy you.
Okay.
And then Myrtle would, just meow her life away, trying to get affection from you. So yeah, it would be mayhem, especially if they saw, oh, you see this microphone that they're talking into?
Especially if you're like,
oh, the moment you touched it, or they like see the cameras, they come over here and knock over the drinks. Come over here and knock over basically everything. But there's no movie on, but I don't know, I just heard crashing. But we're probably going to play some guitar for you guys in a little bit. The world has been pretty crazy in 2023. I learned a lot.
see, if I had a producer, I wouldn't have to worry about doing that.
I mean, yeah, do you need a producer? That was a good, nice jump, though. Props on that jump. That was beautiful.
Thank you. I feel like I'm still pretty athletic for my age.
I mean, that was a feat. It would hurt my knees a lot. I would probably fall down.
But I mean, okay. See, now I don't. Yeah. This is getting more a little personal.
Yeah.
Do you feel you want to live longer because you should be more healthier, or do you not care because you want to live YOLO?
Oh, I want to live longer. 1,000% longer now. Not when I was younger, but I always wanted to be a part of the 27 Club. That was my big thing. I was so upset. Oh, I lived past it.
For anybody that doesn't know what the 27 Club is, it's famous musicians that have made it to the age of 27 and passed away. There's a top 10 list of this, so it's a thing. Just letting you guys know.
But yeah, I like to drink too much, and that's why I couldn't get famous for anything. But yeah. But that's all right. Life is good now, and yeah.
Okay, so do you let's talk a little bit about your drinking then.
Oh God, yeah.
So
when you want to know about it,
when were you the kind of guy who liked to drink when you went out and do your shows when you were like with your band?
I liked to drink anytime. That was the problem.
Okay.
It didn't matter what time of day. It didn't matter. Yeah.
Did that hinder your playing in any sense?
Yeah. Probably a lot. I mean, when I was younger, I don't know. I could shred a lot better. That's what I was figuring out the other day. As I was talking to somebody else, I was like, I'm unlocking skills that I used to have, but it's really weird because I've definitely, I don't know, I was a lot better guitar player when I was younger, probably because I practiced a lot more.
I hate that you say that, though.
Why?
I'm better now than I ever have been.
Oh, I was so much better.
But that's, you've gone so much farther in life. You shouldn't be that. You should be so much better now.
Oh, dude, my fingers are so slow now.
But I think it's because you don't, there's so many times where I hear you and I'm just like, you should have more confidence in yourself when you play for the old people.
Well, yeah, maybe.
Especially the old people. They want to hear confidence. They want to hear, hey, everything's going to be okay. Not, Caleb doesn't think he's good. My legs are probably never going to work either.
Well, they might. I mean, that's true. I definitely need with more confidence there.
Thank you. I just...
But I don't know. This
is real, dog. This ain't unscripted bullshit.
No, when I was younger, like I said, I practiced so much more. It wasn't even a problem. You know, I don't know. My dad literally would like tell all of his friends about, oh, he's so good, and they would bring over their cool guitars. That was the big thing. They would bring over their nice, expensive guitars with their boutique amps. And I was thinking about this the other day. I traded a 1968 Fender Reverb for 2 guitars, both of which I do not have to this day.
Fender Reverb?
Yeah, it's a...
Do you remember what year?
1968. One of the nicest ones. It was beautiful.
That's sick.
The tubes were blown on it, though. And
but that's a simple fix.
Exactly. But I was 17 years old, and I really wanted a Telecaster. And
which wasn't even like original, or was it more modern Telecaster?
It was the three barrel style with the ashtray style bridge.
Like a big metal block on it.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was great. It had the triple sunburst, tobacco sunburst, some crap. It was Mexican, but it was great. It had a big fat neck. It was wonderful. It played wonderfully, but it just wasn't what I wanted. And it really, because the only reason I bought it was because of this Swedish band called Blindside.
Okay.
And they had this song called what was it called? Pitiful. And their guitar player was playing this sick fucking Telecaster. And I was like, oh, I have to get me one of those. And my aunt and uncle were like, hey, so we found this amp in our shed. Oh, yeah, dude.
Blindside?
Oh, they rip, dude. They're not those bros. That's the Blindside. The Swedish bros, yeah, those are them.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. They rip. But so they were like, hey, we found this amp in the shed. You should have it. And I took it home, and I looked it up, and I didn't really know what it was. And my dad was like, just go trade it in at Music Around. And so I did.
And I bet you at that time, well, all the time, if you're a naive musician and you go into a music shop that isn't really big corporate, they're just trying to make a profit wherever they can.
Well, and they were good to me.
Okay, they better have been, because there's some times where I feel I've gotten ripped off by them, and I am very disappointed.
I got 2 guitars for something way more expensive.
Okay,
but I will agree with you that I have been ripped off by them in the past, because I think I may have sold it back to them and been very upset with the price that I got for it.
With very or no minimal damage.
Yeah, I mean just normal play.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like
scratch pick guard.
Yeah, I'm like,
sorry,
I'll buy a new one for it. Okay,
exactly.
It's $15.
Oh,
back then maybe $7. But yeah, and then I got also a Godin. I don't know how to say it. Godin Godet guitars. It was called an Artisan ST. It was called Cognac Burst. Beautiful guitar. Had these stacked humbuckers that coil split. And
is that the name of it? Godin, right?
Yeah, it was Godin Artisan ST. It's a beautiful guitar. But I got one of those from that and that Tobacco Burst Telecaster. So it wasn't that bad of a deal. I mean, I probably could have gotten more for it. But again, I was like 18 years old. Really, really, really wanted to Telecast. Oh yeah, right
like
there.
These two?
That one right there is it. That is what one of the guitars I traded for. That is beauty. Oh yeah, baby.
Oh, look who's trying to sell it.
Oh yeah,
What a surprise.
Hey, that might be mine. I wish I'd written down the freaking serial number.
Jesus Christ.
But that is it, my friend.
Bastard.
Look at that beauty. And it had a bird's eye maple neck, a beautiful flamed, like burnt bird's eye maple neck. Oh, locking tuners, floating Wilkinson. Beautiful guitar.
So getting older, you kind of feel like you've gotten more in tune with like the equipment you have and what you should be playing with and stuff like that. Or I mean, we're always growing and expanding.
Maybe. I don't know. I find myself really gear envious these days.
Okay.
The older I get. I like all the stuff that I have, but I realize a lot of it is just set up like the same shit that I've been playing forever.
Okay.
So I haven't had an Ibanez style guitar since I first started playing. So I don't really know the Wizard 2 or what is it, a Wizard 3 now or something. Yeah. So I don't really know that, so I can't really, I don't know. And then I was reading an article in Guitar World about Pete Townsend picking up a Jackson recently.
Okay.
Like a soloist virtuoso, and being like, it made me play 3 times faster.
Interesting.
And I'm like, that was one of the guitars that I got to play when I was younger that I loved, but just could never afford because they're like $3,000 for the custom shop model that I want, but I don't know. I guess I don't know. My gear envy changes all the time. I really want a modeler too. I want that.
Go lay down. Go lay down. No, go lay down. Go lay down.
Nah. She's upset.
No, she's
go
lay
lay
down. There you go.
Yeah, but I really want a guitar with a Floyd Rose right now. Okay. That's really what I'm wanting.
With like the dip in there, right? So you can pull back and pull forward.
Oh yeah, dip, and I want a 24 fretter. I don't know. I saw a few with 27 frets. Have you seen any of those?
Well, Michelangelo Beto had one of those before. It's like shaped like a bullet almost, and it goes 27, 28.
Yeah, I see.
And I think you remember the guitar player from the Scorpions, Uli?
Oh yeah,
Uli.
Yeah.
He has a guitar
Uli
called
Roth.
the Sky Guitar, and I think it goes up to 32.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
That's probably a beauty. But yeah, see, I can't imagine trying to play something like that or one of those 27 fret guitars.
Or have you ever done the technique of, you know who Ron Bumblefoot is?
I do know who he is.
He used to be a guitar player for Guns N' Roses.
Yeah. Doing all the weird.
But he has the thimble. He puts a metal thimble on his pinky. So when he goes to the 24th fret, he hits it. And then with the middle thimble, he can go just a step higher with each note. So 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 with using his pinky. So he'll do some pretty cool tapping licks where he's probably hitting like the 28th fret or something and then tapping with 24 and 23 or something.
That is absolutely wild. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that. Oh.
Yeah. So that's a cool one that he does, and he has it always on his pinky. It's a pinky thimble.
On the right hand, huh?
Yeah, a little pinky thimble. You see him playing and he just busts it out. I tried it for a while. I have it here. I used to use it. I thought it was cool, but then it just gets hard because it's like you have to get so used to having something new on your hand. It's like
Right.
a whole new way of playing now.
Maybe you could tape it on there, yeah?
That would be cool too. But I like having my pinky so it moves. Like
Well, yeah.
I feel like once it gets a use, like there's sometimes where my fingers closed and I start picking, or when my hand opens and it starts picking. So I feel like it just gets in the way.
Right. I think, yeah, I mean, that sounds, I don't know, have you ever tried playing normal slide guitar?
Like the lap one?
Oh, no, not normal. I should have said, yeah, like just slide with like a metal slide or a bone slide. Yeah. Have you ever done any of that stuff?
In standard tuning. Like I've seen a video of the guy from the Allman Brothers.
Yeah.
He shows you a technique how to do it with standard tuning. So the cool thing that I learned is like when you're sliding on the G and the B string, you can actually turn just a little bit to get the thirds. So
Right.
it's like,
Right.
you get third sounds when you start doing it like that.
Right.
And then when you're picking each of the fingers, your thumb and all your fingers get assigned to a string, so that when you pluck the certain one, the muted string is muted by the other ones.
Right.
But when you play an open string guitar, like that's how usually slide guitars are played, on
Yeah.
open strings and
Yeah,
stuff,
that's how I
you don't have
play.
to worry about it because all the strings are pretty much somewhere in a chord, you know?
Right.
So you can slide, be close to like a G on the G string, but if it accidentally hits a B string right on top of it, it's still going to be a good chord that sounds cool.
True. I mean, I don't know. I was fucking around with that open whatever where you drop this one, full one, full one, full one. I don't know what that's called. But holy shit.
Yeah.
You can do some crazy stuff. Like you were saying, but it also makes some really relatable patterns that you can normally do in standard tuning that sound way better
With the
in
slide.
that tuning,
Okay.
or that could be applied to a slide.
Okay.
Because you can do these like slide acrosses, these diagonal slides where it just sounds crazy, where you're going up whole steps, but across the strings as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it's wild.
I've never really. I mean, I played with it once in a while, open tuning, but I never really got in at all.
Yeah, because you have a bunch of doubles and drones too, which
Yeah.
is a lot of fun.
The most open tuning that I've ever done is like drop D tuning,
Oh, I love drop D.
and then I heard Lamb of God does another tune where they do double D, so
Oh, yeah,
that
D
the
and
D
D.
at the bottom, yeah. So there's 3 Ds going on,
Yeah.
so that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, that's like Doobie Brothers too, I think, and the Allman Brothers did a lot of that kind of stuff. That
Yeah.
double D tuning.
Okay. So that's pretty sick to think of.
Oh yeah, yeah. Music. It's crazy to think how a lot of people tune their guitars very differently. Because I don't know. I guess I've been stuck for a long time in the idea that I have to play in standard tuning, or like standard tuning is what I'm going to do the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But I just got that other guitar set up in drop D, or not drop D, D standard, and it's the best sounding guitar I've ever had in
And
my
that's
entire
just
life.
a whole step down, right?
So it's
Yeah.
a standard guitar, a whole step down.
Yeah.
And then I could also just, drop D real quick too. And
And it's a drop C tuning.
yeah.
That's mostly like all those old bands too,
Mm-hmm.
like what is it? Like As I Lie Dying, all those. They use a lot of those. But then you can go a little lower, because that's the only reason why I want a new guitar, is because I
Oh.
want to go to the tuning of Arch Enemy.
Oh,
Arch Enemy tunes 2 steps lower.
okay.
So I just want to be, my top string is C. I don't even remember it, but they're 2 steps down.
Okay.
And that's pretty heavy. Because like I listen to Arch Enemy's music, it's so melodic. There's so many melodic lines in there where you're just like, and I'm just like, you're so low. That is sick.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good excuse to get a new guitar.
Yeah,
I think
so-
that's a perfect
I
excuse.
mean, my girlfriend gave me the go ahead, so I don't know if I'm going to do it or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's like, if you do it, that's fine, but that'll be like your Christmas present. And I was like, are you fucking serious? Because this could turn south very fast.
You're like, well, I could get an EVH real quick. I could
lose this in the divorce. Who knows?
Exactly. I don't need to buy any more guitars. I can't lose another one. Oh my God. No. Oh, was it one of those $250 guitars?
The one that I showed you. Remember the
Legator.
Legator? Yeah.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
Then it's got the micro tonal frets. So technically the frets are a little slanted to the side. Have you seen that?
Are they they're the fan frets?
Yeah, almost like Toshiba Bosons. You know how
See,
they
have you played any of those?
They
though?
said it's really fun.
Well, say they said. You said they said.
I know.
But we need. Sounds like we need to go to Music Around and try
But
one
I don't
out.
think there is.
Oh, they have one.
No, yeah.
Oh, there's one that I played over there. I believe it was an Ibanez 7-string.
Microtono. Or not microtono, but the fan frets.
Yeah, fan frets, whatever they call it. Not that temperamental stuff. Have you seen those?
No, I haven't.
Oh, the like perfect
there's
frets, the like super plink or whatever, where they make the frets are all but perfectly in tune. So wherever you put it, it's the perfect tone.
Some of them are almost like ladder steps, right?
Oh yeah, it's like lightning bolts. All of them are all.
That's crazy. And that's the whole microtonal thing, right?
Yeah, it's called True Temperament, at least from Steinberger. That's their trademarked term.
Okay.
True Temperament. But I'm sure there's a bunch of other ones out there. I don't know. I love guitar technology. It's been mind-blowing lately to see all the stuff that people are doing.
Dude, I remember some of the like innovative things when I was young. Like I remember Herman Lee had this thing called the wag ring.
Oh, the wag ring.
Yeah, it's a ring where you put it on a wah setting, but when your motion of your hand is what makes the wah sound. So he was doing stuff where he's like, weenie, 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 weenie. I was just like, that's pretty cool. But now that's just like, I don't even see that out. Like it's one of those like what are those like as made for TV kind of things. Like,
I mean, but Herman Lee would make a video that was made just like that. As made for TV. Here's
that's true.
But he's rad, super rad, incredible guitar player.
Very, very good.
Yeah, one of the best to ever do it. His new PRS, that I'm envious of because it's got the dragons. I don't know if you've seen that.
Does it really?
Inlays. Oh
I
yeah,
haven't seen
bro.
that.
Oh, that's only. When I heard it was stolen, I was like, man, maybe I can get it now. No.
Wait, so he had a custom made one?
Yeah,
or
so
he's
he
gonna
has
be coming out
he
with
has
some?
a signature model that's not. I don't think it'll ever go for sale. Maybe it will, but it's a guitar that he's been playing with a lot on tour. I think it's a custom 24, but it's been super modded to be Herman Lee, and it's unreal. Oh, it's not the Orianth one.
No, it's like literally.
Oh, it's Herman
custom.
Lee. Yeah, it's got his dragon inlays. It's wicked, man. Unreal. Yeah, that's the one.
A pink one.
Yeah. Unreal. Maybe it has more than 24 frets. But it is wild. Absolutely wild.
Interesting.
What do you think?
I mean, I've always been into like flashy colored guitars.
I mean, I need to get more flashy guitars. I was telling you about that Chameleon Charvel.
Oh yeah. Chameleon colors are always cool.
The only problem with it it's 22 frets. And I don't need another 22 fret guitar.
You're looking for 24 or higher.
Well, no, just 24 really.
Yeah.
Maybe I do need another 22 fret guitar.
I think the only 22 fret guitar I used to have was a BC Rich.
Oh, so you don't even have a 22? Oh, yeah, you got a 20, right? Is that a 20? The Les Paul?
Yeah, the Epiphone.
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw this great meme where it was like Mel Gibson,
Okay.
and then it said Mel Epiphone.
Oh my God.
And then it was like an actor from like Sweden trying to do like Lethal Weapon or something. It was so hilarious. This is Mel Gibson and this is Mel Epiphone.
Mel Epiphone.
That was funny.
Oh.
But yeah, I actually got that guitar from a friend. He just was like, it doesn't work. The wiring, something's wrong with the wiring.
Okay.
So you plug it in and it doesn't even, no sound comes out of it at all. Toggle switch, nothing.
Even still?
Not at all. I've never messed with it since he
Oh.
gave it to me.
Oh, well, you can mod the shit out of that.
Yeah, that's a mod guitar for
You
sure.
can put some really cool stuff in there.
And then under that guitar is like another weird, I don't know, it's a weird hollow body guitar. It's the action, dude, is literally like almost 3 feet high.
So you get a nice.
I don't even
handler.
play it like that. The only reason I use that guitar solely for slide. That's it.
Oh,
Because it's so high.
and you haven't tried to fuck with it at all?
No, it's. I feel like if I do, it's just gonna and just crumble in my feet.
What's the problem with that? I've destroyed a lot of guitars.
I get sad.
Well,
I would be so sad.
that reminds me of is it like a Washburn?
It's kind of like a Washburn. I think it's called a Martin.
Oh.
Martin.
Okay, yeah, I got like a Costco Washburn for Christmas in like 2010.
Okay.
It was $200.
Semi-hollow body or something.
Semi-hollow body. Like you were saying, the action was
Super high.
yeah, feet away from the board. So I just jacked with it a little bit, put on some lighter strings.
Worked out.
Sounded pretty good.
Nice.
But gave it away to some little kid because
they were trying to learn.
Yeah,
to learn.
Yeah, what do I need another guitar for? At least that's what my parents said. They said, "Oh, you don't need it. It's cheap."
Yeah, and you have other ones.
Yeah, your other guitars are way more expensive.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, where are they now? No.
Yeah, right. Where's that
Where
person with their skill in guitar now?
Well, I don't know. That doesn't. I don't know.
How many guitars have you given away that you feel like that's wasted potential, dude?
Oh,
you didn't even do anything with it, you
many.
son of a bitch.
At least 4.
You're like, damn it.
4.
Yeah, at least 4.
At least 4.
I have two of them that I was like, I gave them away. I was like, God damn it, you're my little brother. How are you not getting better at this?
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember getting given away. Yeah, my little sister was one of them too. I gave her a crappy Squire guitar.
Yeah.
And she immediately.
Let's play, and it never turned into anything.
No. And then she went and got. She was upset because she didn't think the guitar was cool enough because it was the same color as my guitar, right? Because I have an affinity for like ivory color strats and like seafoam color strats. So my first guitar was a 1982 Squire 2 Stratocaster, ivory. Love that guitar to death. So I got this Squire, I don't know what it was called. It was like Paranormal Universe, but it's a Strat body with like a Telecaster bridge. So it's a hardtail with a Telecaster neck pickup and a Telecaster bridge pickup with like this 3-way switch that's a knob and a volume knob. It was sick.
Okay.
Super sick. And so I gave her that, and she was like, no.
Thank you.
No, it's not cool because Freaky Friday was out.
Oh my God, it all makes sense.
And so she was like, "Oh, it doesn't look like Lindsay Lohan. I want the guitar like Lindsay Lohan."
Is this gonna get me a skater boy?
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh my God!" And my parents were like, "Well, you don't play the guitar, Jordan." And she was like, "Well, I can learn, and I want to learn because Lindsay Lohan plays the guitar." And I was like, "Oh God!" So they got her a Jay Tercer, which was a piece of crap, a red one. And it looked like it, so it was perfect.
Wow.
Perfect. But that guitar that Lindsay Lohan played in that movie, that red thin line Telecaster with the P90s,
yeah,
beautiful guitar. Would have been a great one if she would have gotten it. Damn it,
hilarious. That would have been sick though, because it probably would have been stepped down to you, right?
Oh, it would have been given to me immediately.
Yeah.
I mean,
2 months later, here it is.
Yeah. She'd have been like, "It's mine, bitch, but you can play it.
Yeah,
don't scratch it."
Yeah, and then you guys move away. She never ask about it.
Oh, that wouldn't even be it at all. No, she would have. That bitch would have called me every day. She'd have been like, "Hey, where's my fucking guitar?
I got a guitar that I'm telling my friends about. Where is it?"
No, not even that. She'd be like, "Hey, bitch, I'll kill you. Where's my guitar?" She was a psycho.
That's hilarious.
Oh, psycho. But yeah, red guitar. Had to have a red guitar.
That's funny.
But yeah, I mean, how many guitars have you had? I feel like you've had a ton, just like I've had a ton.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily always give them away. I've sold a lot of guitars. I had them stolen.
That was the hardest one. That's the hardest one.
Yeah, I mean that Godin. That was stolen. I don't know where it went.
Just gone?
Yeah, disappeared.
Damn, sick.
Disappeared. I had amps disappear at the church. I lent it to a church. Won't say the church's name, but I lent it to the church. Head got stolen. PV. I don't know, Valve King 100 head.
Gone.
Later.
And what were they like? We don't know.
Yeah, and then they gave me back the cabinet with one of the wheels missing. And I was like, well, that's cool. I mean.
Wait, was this a church that you were affiliated with, or were you just helping out the church?
No, so I
know you were in church band and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was in the church band, but this was at another church. So my parents decided we weren't going to be Lutheran anymore, and we decided to go to this Pentecostal church up there on Tramway. And they had a ripping guitar player. That was the main reason we went there. Because actually, we ran into this guy at Music Around again, who was a bass player for the church.
Ruining people's lives, aren't you? Music Around.
We love Music Around. We love you. And this old guy was playing on the bass, and my dad, that was his thing. He wanted to learn play the bass, but last time I was talking about how shitty he was at it. And
but that was his thing. He liked music.
Oh.
And that was his thing, the bass.
Yeah, he sucked at it, but he wanted to make sure everybody heard him play it
once in a while.
yeah. So, but this guy invited us up there because he goes, "Oh, our pastor is a shredder," And when I heard that, I was like, there's no way this fucking old man shreds. We get up there. Dude's melting faces off.
Yeah.
Dude's melting faces. Has these Anderson guitars, and he plays through like a Bogner, and then he got one of those Kempers. He was the first people I knew who had a Kemper.
That's so sick.
And dude just ripped. And so it was not hard for me to be like, yeah, I want to go to this church. Why not?
Yeah.
But then I wasn't good enough to be on the church band at all.
At that time, though, you were still playing and stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was still learning.
Previously from the Lutherans, right?
Well, no.
You learned how to play guitar from the Lutherans, right?
No, so no. So I learned how to play guitar, from a guy named Ron Wiggins at Mom's Music.
Nothing to affiliate with religion.
Nothing with religion. Actually, I wasn't even allowed to play guitar. That was the big problem.
Interesting.
Because when I went to the church, the Lutheran school, we had a band. The band did not have any, guitar players. There was no guitar. There was no drums.
They're like, you could be a tambourine player.
No, they weren't even saying that. They were like, you got to pick an instrument. Do you want to play the trumpet? Do you want to play the trombone? Do you want to play? What do you want to play? And I was like, I don't fucking know. So I ended up playing the clarinet and played that for the shit out of that for like 3 years. Okay. And then my instructor was like, you should play the oboe. So I played the oboe. And then in 7th grade, I tried out for the Junior Symphony Orchestra. Thought I was going to get first chair. Got upset I didn't. And then quit playing orchestra music, whatever. Mm-hmm. And my parents were like, you can play the guitar. So, and then... yeah, from there I went to Ron, and Ron taught me everything he learned. And then I went to this guy named Rudy Jaramillo, shout out Rudy Boy Experiment, and he taught me a bunch of stuff. And he just said, "You're just paying me to jam with you
at this point."
Yeah. So why are we doing this? Just you should come to gigs, be smart, and I'm too much of a pussy to do that shit. So
at that time,
maybe now I would do it. I mean, I've done it before.
I mean,
him.
If Tasty gets off the ground, you better be hitting some shows.
I'd be okay with that.
Okay.
No, but I'm saying that like I've been drunk before and ran into him at bars and had to play, and not necessarily embarrassed myself, but it could have been a better experience. But I learned from him, and he basically said the same thing. And then I went to that church where this dude shredded, and I don't know. I started messing around with this girl, and she had another church, which was the place where I played a bunch of guitar. And
same kind of affiliation, the Pentecostals.
Yeah, they were Pentecostals as well. Okay. But I got to play in the youth group and in the adult church. Okay. And I got to play every fourth Sunday in both. In the church group, and then every fourth Tuesday, and maybe every other Tuesday in the kid one.
And as that's been going on, you're learning and getting influenced in your music while that's going on. Or are you bringing elements that they don't understand yet?
Oh, I mean, I think it was a little bit of all of it. There were a lot of skilled musicians at that place. I mean, worship music isn't complicated, I will say, but some of it can be very, very, very complicated. They're into chord progressions. They're into finding your space in the musical area, because a lot of them are all about having ensembles. So it's all about having like a female singer that sings like soprano, and like some dude that sings really low,
and then you guys accompanying.
And then so during the quiet parts, I get to shred a little bit, and that's what they always liked. And so I would always try to do my best Yngwie impersonations. That's what they would call me.
All you, like that came out for you.
Yeah.
Like you were able to improv it.
Yeah. So I would get at least 1-2 solos every Sunday.
But see, that's where it's crazy, is like, where did that influence of trying to play like those shredders come from? Because you saw that guy and you're just like, hey, how did you learn that? And then they're like, check out Yngwie, check out Satriani, check out... I mean, pretty much. I going to the music stores, I would always see that. I don't know. I had a lot of videos growing up. I don't know when you started playing guitar if you got any of that stuff, but I learned tablature. That's the way I know. I don't really know how to read music. I mean, I can read music kind of, but you sit there and have to analyze it.
Oh, I have to figure it out, and then I look at my guitar and I go, okay, yeah, I can do that. But tabs, easy. Yeah. I can look at a tab, boom, boom, boom.
I feel it's easier for us too, because our generation, we learned how to play with tabs, and then we got introduced to the aspect of Guitar Hero.
Right, Guitar Hero. But I mean, really, those videos. I don't know. Did you have any of those instructional videos from our heroes?
Yeah, I have. I didn't get any of those instructional videos from our heroes. What I did is I got My very first magazine was the Guitar World. I think it was 20th anniversary.
Okay.
Or the 30th. I'm not too sure. But it had all these musicians on the cover. It had Zakk Wylde, Tom Morello. It had Monkey from Korn. It had all of these people on there, and it was
Monkey was revered by Guitar World.
That's what's so crazy. Like when I saw that, I was like, "That's cool." And then I was flipping through the pages, and the cool thing is that it was the 20th anniversary, so it wasn't really, "Hey, this is." This is what's happening this month. This is I got a whole aspect of like the collection of this is what Guitar World has been doing.
Right.
They had this one section at the end where they have like, hey, learn how to play some solos from Alex Skolnick, or learn how to play from what's the guy, Andy Alador, I think that's his name. He's the very famous
from
Guitar World magazine's transposer.
Yeah.
And he's always on all their videos.
Yeah.
Andy Alador, I think that's his name. But he was on there too.
Sorry if we got it wrong. Dude.
Yeah, shout out to that dude.
You rock.
You're a badass. I learned from you.
We love your videos. Yeah, shout out Guitar World.
You were the shit. But those videos, they came with like a CD or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't have a computer for the longest time, so I just collected those CDs and I would learn like the tabs as much as I could.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, I would go to my friend's house and he would be like, "Yeah, I'm just hanging out. You could use my computer if you want." Then I would watch those videos, and I was like, "That's cool. That's the technique. Oh, I didn't get what that T on the fucking tabloid was. I don't know what the T meant. Thumb? Am I supposed to put my thumb there?" So you end up learning the more you come up with it. And then as reading the magazines, they're like, Yngwie Malmsteen used to have an instructional video by Warner Brothers back in the day. And then I was like, I got to see this. I didn't know there was this. And then that's when the internet came up, and you can start finding those videos without having to go to the video store.
Right. Pay for them like we used to have.
You just literally can be like, Google this stuff, and it's all on there.
Well, that is beautiful, but man, it was... That section of the music store was wild back in the day, because you could get just about anybody's instructional video. Oh, how to play Metallica songs by Jimmy John, or how to play the 10 Jimi Hendrix songs by this guy,
or like even vague titles like Fast Fingers.
Oh yeah,
have fast fingers,
or like any of those books that they used to have.
Arpeggio solos.
Yeah. Oh man, but we loved it. That's what we lived for. And I don't know, music stores were a lot cooler back in the day. I don't know. At least I'm talking a lot of shit because we don't have very many cool ones. There's a few good ones. Shout out Backroads.
Yeah,
they have some new stuff. Maybe I just don't know about any of the other ones, but Guitar Center has a bunch of whack shit in there lately.
It's so I guess what is it like? Very it's like an industry now.
Yeah,
it's just so. It's like pushing products.
Yeah, there's nothing cool in there anymore. I mean, except for like those new Fender products that are like the modelers. I don't know if you've seen those. Are like the new Mustang. Have you seen that?
I don't think so.
So it's like a little combo amp. They sell it in like a 15, a 20, a 50, and it's a modeling amp. So it's got all the effects built into it, and you can do all kind of crazy shit with it. And you can literally make presets on your computer and upload them straight to it, and adjust them with the knobs that are on it. They're just they're incredible little amps. And I was playing through one the other day, and this old guy was like, "Oh, do you have one of those?"
Something like these, right?
No.
Are they smaller?
Yeah, they're smaller.
What is it? A Fender?
Oh, that looked like it. The 199 one. No, the one left of it. Yeah, I think that might be it. It has a big knob on it. Knobs on the front and on top. Yeah, there we go.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful little amp.
But it's all about modeling now. Like,
well, go for it.
It's all about like, the amp producing a sound that's already been produced out of all these other. It's not like I don't know. Maybe you can make a new sound, but it's just like we have the sound of all these tones, and you adjust it how you want. Like, like you can mix Metallica and you can mix the Allman Brothers. We have both tones, and you come up with your idea.
Right. Exactly.
Is that kind of what modeling? I would assume.
That's the way I'm looking at it. I want it to be really. I've been snooty about it, is what I'll say. I've been snooty about the idea of modeling because I don't like. I thought the whole idea was make an organic sound for people to feel. And the whole idea behind that was having all this fancy, pedal board. I have this one, specific boutique pedal that most people don't have, and it's set to this. And I've got this one and this one and this one and this one. Whereas now you don't even need to buy, the 5150 rig. You don't need to buy the phaser. You don't need to buy the boosters, any of the stuff that EVH had. You can literally download the EVH preset today, throw it on there, and you'll have all the stomp boxes ready. Boom, boom.
And that's even if you want to use a stomp box,
right?
Because now you can just use your keyboard,
right? Exactly.
Literally, just push D, and then you're like distortion off, or like I'm adding reverb or something.
Exactly. And how cool is that?
That's pretty innovative.
And like, I don't know, I was reading something about Polyphia because they use the modelers, right? But they just did a deal with Marshall, and so that they could have like a wall of sound. So they're having all of it pushed out of the modeling, pushed out of clean heads.
Clean heads.
Just blasted.
Okay.
So there's air moving.
Ah, okay.
And that's what Guthrie Govan is doing too, apparently. Because he apparently switched to the modeling world and says, oh yeah, I'll never go back. Because apparently it just makes recording super easy, for levels. And
it really is. Like, it's so much simpler. Like, again, like, this is kind of like a downgrade from the models, but
that's
one pedal, one entry, all the thing you need, tuning, every effect, all that, and also can be controlled from the amp or from the computer. Like whatever program that runs this can change it all there. And then not only that, I don't have to get an external mic to record it because it has you can just plug it into the computer.
And then you can also, you can make the mic be wherever you want on the simulated cabinet.
Yeah, exactly.
You can,
change the simulated cabinet.
And then if you want, do the same track with a different cab, a different amp, different effects if you want to double it up, triple it up.
Which was way harder back then.
Well, back then you'd have to,
literally change the amps,
change the mic. Get the mic set up again.
That's funny. All those 3 line 6s up there individually have a different sound to them.
Right.
And if you were recording with them, you would hear them in the recording and stuff.
Right.
But that's emulated now. You can literally be like, throw me on the line 6 spider valve, and then that's the sound.
Exactly.
It's innovative, but then it's like that was the cool thing about guitars, like the experimentation.
Well, and the experimentation, but that it's still, everything is still trying to be innovative. I think people are coming up with all new pickups all the time, right?
Yeah.
People wind their own stuff. I was seeing some of these funky magnetic pickups that stick to these metal pick guards that you can slide around.
Okay.
I was like, oh, well, that's interesting.
I recently saw something too about it's a metal pick.
Oh.
So technically when you play, you don't have to hit the strings. You can be like 3 inches away.
There's no way.
Okay, so this is the thing though.
No.
What it does is it creates more of like a reverb effect because the it's going back and forth is just messing with the pickups because it's a magnet, right? So your guitar pick's a magnet and this is a magnet. You hit a chord without the magnet, vroom, and then you over here away from it, you just hear like vroom, 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 vroom. You don't hear any noises from the chord you just played. You're making noise with just the pickup and the metal magnet pick.
Interesting.
I just saw a video of it this morning of like they're trying like a bunch of guitar players. It's a hack. It is, but that's another person trying to innovate, right? That's
a hack. Yeah, and there are a lot of people doing innovative things in the guitar world. What is that? That Brazilian dude, Felix.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. He has 2 necked guitars going up, and it's a Steinberg as well.
Right. Doing crazy 13 neck guitars or some shit. And then there's that Italian kid, that Matteo Mansuco. That's been going to Steve Vai's Universe. That's happening right now.
Isn't he was on AGT, right?
I think so.
The little kid, right?
He's kind of young. He's young, but he plays that Yamaha Revstar
acoustic, and he's like,
oh no, that's
Marcin.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about him.
Oh, that dude rips too. Yes, he's at Steve Vai's thing too.
And see, that's innovative, right? I don't see people playing like that.
Well, Andy McKee, bro, do you remember him?
That was old school though. See, and that's how I found out through the Guitar World magazine.
Yeah.
They ended up doing an article about him. They're like, hey, there's a new thing going on with guitar. I think the song was called Drifting or something.
Yeah.
Boom, ba-da-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, ding, ding. But then that's learning about new tuning and stuff too. I think he used an open tuning for that song.
Definitely. And he's still an incredible guitar player. Open tuning, I mean, changing your guitar tuning does a lot of really cool stuff, I think. Because it allows you to open up a bunch of ideas that you wouldn't have previously had, I think. At least for me. I don't know. I like fucking around with that. Standard tuning's real cool and all, but I'm getting old and I'm getting lazy. I've been really wanting to play slide guitar lately.
You're just like, it's so... Well, see, that's another technique, though. It's just, probably harder to do.
Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. But Guitar World. Yeah. The Guitar World magazine used to be such a great thing. Do they even make a magazine now?
They do. So I'm subscribed to the Instagram and stuff.
Okay.
So you get to see, but it's not as cool as it used to be. I think they only tab 3 songs now. The interactions with I haven't seen. My favorite part wasn't the songs that they tabbed, but the section before the tabs they set, where it was just a little thing where it's just like Alex Skolnick shows you how to play a riff, or
Alexi Lehau shows you how to play
the beginning of this song, or a quick little snippet. So that was the part I liked the most, and I think that kind of got taken out a little more too.
Those were incredible. That was the best part of that magazine. I mean, I like the gear roundup too.
That was cool.
But
and then there used to be competition. Do you remember the two? I think it was Guitar One versus Guitar World.
Yeah.
And there's also Young Player or something.
Young Guitarist or something.
Yeah, something.
I don't know. There were a lot of good guitar magazines back then, but they were also expensive. Yeah. Right.
I think they were it was more of a niche too. It was cooler back then.
Yeah, and I don't know. Music stores back then also carried a lot more cool stuff, I feel like. I don't know. They were stocked with interesting stuff, and the people were more interested in being like, hey, check out this cool new... I got this new pedal. Check out this new amp. Check out this new whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas now, you walk into Guitar Center, and they're like...
You need gloves. Put some gloves on.
Did you sanitize your hands? Do you really want me to get that guitar up there? Yeah. And you're like, well... I guess I'm not going to buy it now. I'm sorry. Sorry to bother you.
Yeah, it doesn't feel as appealing now.
Well, and they don't even have the cool stuff like they used to. I mean, like I said, the selection has gone down, but that may just be due to our population and the location of the Guitar Center.
That might be true too.
But do we even have,
you like that? Look at that rant we went on for music.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's fun. No, that's fun. That's what I love about this podcast. Is it doesn't matter what you start talking about because it's interesting.
Yeah. It's interesting to us.
And if it isn't interesting, then we would have switched the topic. We would have gone to something else. We would have just been like, I don't have nothing else to say about this.
I don't know nothing about this.
So that's cool. That's what I love about this podcast. But music in general, that's why music is amazing. I sent you that song by Megadeth. Hook and Mouth. I can't believe you've never heard that song.
Bro, I've learned I haven't learned any of the music that I thought I knew. Yeah. Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer. I don't know any of that stuff.
I was freaking out because I was just having a rough day and I was like, I feel like a fish. I'm always getting pushed around. I was just having my hook and mouth. So I was just like, this is a good song. But I love that music has that aspect of bringing out different feelings of how you're feeling in the day. There's sometimes where you're just like, this is a dope song, and I was like, this is happy. Damn, he's probably really feeling good right now.
Hey, I try to spread that positivity, with my my jail-made shirt. This is made from prison workers in Peru.
What are we gonna do, right? We're trying to help everybody.
Hey, bro, I was like, you know what? How much does it cost, American? $20? I got that.
I'll buy 2.
Well, no, because they didn't have any more that fit my big dumb head, but. Music. But music is a universal thing. We both love music. I don't know. I think people like talking about music, but I don't think I want to be signed by anybody. Would you agree with that? Do you want to be signed by?
I mean, it depends.
Big?
I guess it depends if I had more free liberty to do what I want to do.
Well, I think the whole thing with being signed is you don't have any of the free liberty to do any of that.
I mean, look at Joe Rogan. He got signed and got to do whatever he want. But see, this is the thing. I'm talking in a music aspect. But for us, I feel younger. I would have signed that dotted line faster than I would have probably given up my virginity. Like, it would have been that fast. But
you
now that I'm older,
before your virginity though, man.
no, as the same, like, right, like, my virginity went as fast as if I would have signed that. Like, if a girl wanted to have sex with me, I'd be like, yes! And if they would have signed me, yes!
Okay.
It would have happened that fast.
All right, I get it now.
But now that I'm older, I think about it more, and I'm just like, well, like, the temptations of, like, evil, and, like, do I really want to be a dick? Is money going to change me? I'm so glad that I'm older that I can analyze my life now that I don't think it would change me. I don't know. I really don't. But I think I would have more of a grounded foot on the entertainment world than I would have when I was younger.
I would agree with that statement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have probably died.
So, with that being said, I feel I can get signed, but I would have to be under more of, like, let me see what I'm getting signed to. I don't want to sign my life away, but I want to make sure that if I'm signing something, it's going to accommodate me in a positive way, not like royalties or my soul gets sold, or you know what I mean? Like,
you don't want to sell your soul?
It's hard, man.
Why not?
Sometimes when you sell your soul, you're just like, that's the only thing I had about me.
Do we even have it though? I don't know.
See,
Joe Rogan might know.
That's a philosophy question right there.
Yeah, we're philosophizing now. Holy shit. Wow. I was just thinking about that. Does Joe Rogan know about that?
But you would, right? I mean, now, if you were to get signed or a deal were to come up, you would actually kind of look at it first, right?
Oh, I would have to. I'd have to show it to some lawyer.
Yeah,
maybe.
And the wife, probably.
Definitely the wife. She would criticize the whole thing, especially if yeah. But I don't know. The idea of signing to a like a record label seems kind of scary to me.
I could see that.
But
I mean, we've heard all the horrors of it before.
Well, and I don't know. I grew up with my mom being in Christian music, and all the Christian music people that we would run into would always say, "Oh yeah, we have to push out 3 records." And I'm like, "What does that even mean?" Like, because I don't know how easy you write music, but writing music for me is very difficult. Like, I don't know. I watched that Taylor Swift documentary where she talks about how many songs she writes. And I commend her completely for being able to write freely all day, every day. But I also don't have, this like multi-million-dollar studio
where you can go in and just
click with everything that you could ever want, with musicians that I can be like, oh yeah, I need a drummer to do this. I need somebody to do this.
Or just somebody there to push the button.
Right. Well, and then chop it up and say, oh, try this, and blah, 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 kind of stuff. But also, I mean, maybe I do. And like you were saying earlier, I just don't push myself to do it because I have this bullshit inferiority complex. That
might be true. I found that very surprising. Like in the environment that we live, when they can commend you for it, but yet you were so negative about it, I was just like, wow, that's crazy. Like, but like if they're crying and stuff, Caleb would put himself out there in a sense where it's like, you're okay. We're all the same. We're all great people. We're all trying to learn. But when it comes to like trying to make you feel better about the whole thing, you're just like, I suck. What are you guys talking about? No, I'm a loser. You guys are ridiculous. But none of them saw that. I never seen that. Like, you have way more confidence in yourself than you should.
Soy un perdedor.
I'm just trying to enlighten this dude right now. We're dropping DMT in a bit.
Oh, man. Smoking DMT. Have you ever done DMT?
I have not.
Oh.
I've had acid trips. I've done mushrooms. I've even done ecstasy. I've dabbled in cocaine once in a while.
Dabbled. Yeah.
But I've never DMT. But see, that's the thing is like maybe I should do something that might enlighten me a little more.
Well, so you say you've done acid, right?
That was fun. I've even had the best ego death ever.
Right. Okay. So acid can either be like that, enlightening, or it can be like the Groundhog Days where I like to describe it, where you get stuck in these infinite loops where you're stuck at your house or at some place in like a bathroom and you can't get out of them.
Yeah.
But again, you can reach enlightenment doing that kind of stuff. The first time I did DMT, I didn't even know I was doing DMT.
Wow.
I was over at a buddy's house. Another one of the buddies that I shouldn't be hanging out with, and they actually had like a music room over there, so we would go get stoned, sell weed to people, and my other buddy goes, hey, I've got this new stuff. You want to try it? I'm like, oh, what? Well, I like stuff.
I like weed.
Well, yeah. So that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, he's always got like wax. He's always got fancy shit, hash. Oh, it'll be fun. And he gets out this brand new clear bong and gets out this nice, I don't know, new little, I don't know, even know how to describe it, one of those quartz things, and heats it up. And then I'm thinking, oh, I'm about to do a dab, and I take a rip. Later, I find myself sitting on the couch, but I'm not on the couch anymore, you know? Not on the couch. I don't know where I am. I can't even... So when you were on acid, you ever been like locked in the bathroom and looked in the mirror or like had multiple mirrors on you where you felt like you could look forever, but you could also only see the room that you were in?
Yeah.
Like it would be like looking at something like this.
Okay.
Imagine being stuck in a place like that, but also being intrigued by that.
Okay.
And then also being conscious of other things moving around you, and also knowing that there are things willing to talk to you, waiting to talk to you, trying to enlighten you if you're willing. And I don't know, because have you ever done like ayahuasca or anything like that too?
Not either.
Yeah.
You have?
I'm a moron, and I've done a lot of stupid things.
I mean, it's not stupid though, because like maybe in the context of how you did it might have been stupid.
I've never done things the right way. I don't usually do it the correct way.
Okay.
When I'm supposed to do it, and but I hear good things from. That was actually the plan for this December. We were trying to go to the jungle and do an ayahuasca trip to cleanse ourselves. But I'm too worried that I'm carrying on too much stuff, because the second to last time we flew to Peru, we were flying back and we got stuck in the airport for way too long, and ended up having this like long conversation with this Australian millionaire lady about Jesus Christ.
Wow.
And how he was going to save my soul, and how I needed to stop rejecting him. And I was like, this is fucking crazy. But this lady's making sense, because she wasn't just saying like Jesus Christ. She was saying, you know, you were an addict, you were an alcoholic, all you want is to fill that void, blah, 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 blah. And so then she starts talking about how, oh, you know what really did it for me? I went on this 2-week ayahuasca trip, but I only needed 4 days of it. And blah, 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 blah. You should really do it. And then we started talking about mushrooms. And then she got off the whole Jesus thing and started talking about crypto, you know, which I thought was really interesting.
And that's interesting. That is so crazy.
Well, then it went from Jesus to like how she says that the American media is lying about what's going on in China, how China's in debt to a bunch of other people, and that we're just being played on both sides, so that we don't, you know, not to get political or anything, but that we're being fed bullshit on all sides.
That makes sense.
About everything. And I was like, oh, and then, she was just, really positive influence on a very strange day after being stuck in the airport. But she kept being like, you need to have Jesus Christ in your life.
Did you kind of see that as like just an experience that was like you were lucky to have at that moment?
Well, so that whole trip was the trip that I got married on. Okay, so we went down there, and we were down there for like 3 weeks, right? So I went down there the first week, went and hung out. We got married. Then we went to Cusco, and actually these are the shoes that I wore to hike Machu Picchu, which was the craziest experience of my life, by the way, because so we go up there, and so we get to go on. You have to ride this train to get up there, or you can ride a bus that takes forever. Yeah. And we get up there and to the train, and they say, "Oh, well, they're going to have a protest up here, so you might get stuck if you go up there." And I'm like, "Well, this is." The last time I went to Peru, I wasn't even my wife brought like 12 of her family members. That may be an exaggeration. 12 of her family members with us, and so it was going to cost us like $1,200, $1,500 for all of us to ride the train to go to Cusco or to this place called Agua Calientes at the bottom of Machu Picchu. And I was like, I'm not paying that for all these people. You've got to be out of your fucking mind. Like, I love you, but
that's a lot.
You got to be out of your mind. So this time it was like my good friends, all my groomsmen and their girlfriends, and then like my aunt and uncle, they went with us. And so I'm telling them, this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, guys. We have to try to experience it. Like, when are you ever going to get to witness people protesting against their government in like real time? Like, how cool is that? We're going to get to experience this in real time. There's going to be a strike. There's going to be no train service. The people are going to be on strike. There's going to be no food. There's going to be no all this stuff. this sounds really rad. And all of them were like, oh, yeah, until it actually happened.
And then it just was
and
downhill.
They were like, oh, well, I can't believe you made me do this. And, yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of bullied people into doing it. But the whole Machu Picchu experience, I felt like was a spiritual experience. It was strange, dude. Because my dad always wanted to go there. My dad died in 2013. And I ran into this gentleman on 2 of the hikes that we were on that my friends and family claim was not there. And so I was like, oh, I talked to like an angel or my dad or something weird. But I had a very strange spiritual experience, as I will say, in Peru.
That's
and yeah, I wouldn't say, yeah. I don't even know how to explain it. There's something out there, but I don't know what it is. It doesn't have a name to me, but
yeah, you just don't know.
Dude.
That's the beautiful part about it, but then the scary part about it.
I talked to this guy for like 45 minutes.
I see.
45 minutes. Had long conversation with him. Long conversation.
Just about like life in general.
Yeah, life in general. Talking about the walk, talking about how we got there, what we were doing. And then the second time I ran into him, had a very similar conversation, just being like, man, it's just a crazy day to run into you 2-hour hikes, 3-hour hikes in a row.
Twice.
Like, it doesn't even make sense.
But nobody in your family saw this guy.
No, but my wife claims she did not see this person.
But weren't you guys walking together the whole time? Did you stray ahead a little bit?
No, that was the problem. And so the shittiest part about that one of those stories was, so you can hike to Machu Picchu and not hike up to Mount Machu Picchu, okay? So you have to pay for a ticket at the bottom of the hiking trail just to get into the grounds. And you can pay for A or B. And so I paid for A and B. Yeah. So I could go to both places. I was like, yeah, fuck this. I'm only here one time. We're going to hit it all. So we pay for that. And so you can hike to Machu Picchu and walk around there and wander around the little tour guide area. And you can go up what's called Mount Machu Picchu, which is like another, 8,000 feet or something stupid. Okay. So and you have to show them like your passport and another ticket, and they write down your time that you start, and then they write down the time that you come back, so they make sure everybody's checked in and checked out kind of stuff. And so there were probably 10 of us that started on it, and 3 of us dropped off almost immediately. And so my mother-in-law was one of the people that was part of this group, but one of my groomsmen, Aaron, was like just running up there. One of my buddies, Andy, groomsman, was running up there, and my uncle, who's got something to fucking prove, this whole white guy, Michael, the tard.
I can make it too.
He's like, oh, so he has to make it a fucking race. And then it was Aaron's girlfriend, Katie, and my mother-in-law is who it ended up being, the 6 of us. And I was in front of the 2 women. So at one point I was thinking, I'm just going to fucking quit. I'm fucking over this. This is the worst idea I've ever had in my life. And then I see these 2 ladies strolling up behind me, dying too, but strolling up behind me, and they just keep going. So that was like, I don't know. I kept getting convinced, well, shit, if they're going to do it, I need to stop being a fucking pussy and man up and get this thing done.
Up there,
yeah, get this thing fucking done. And eventually I did, of course, but holy shit, like... it's crazy how much ego can make you want to do things. And I don't know, I could have died up there, but it was one of the best experiences. I'll show you some pictures later on. But yeah. And then again, so during that hike, there was a period where I was by myself for maybe 5 minutes before they caught up to me. Okay. And that was when I saw him the first time. Then I saw him again at the top when we were resting. Because we got to the top, and I was like, there's no way I'm going right back down. Yeah. And so there was like this little seating area, and he was sitting with these French foreign people, or at least so I thought. And then, again, I saw him on the way down when we started down, and then never saw him again.
Wow.
But nope.
None of them.
We didn't see him. You're fucking crazy. All right.
Well, that's a good experience, though.
Oh, dude. That Peru, if you ever get a chance, is a great experience. And it's more reasonable than you might think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, the food is probably the best food I've ever had in my life. Have you ever had Peruvian food?
I think maybe once in a while. I probably just don't really remember. But it's just kind of like, like Caribbean kind of?
No. So Peruvian food is like an amalgamation of a bunch of different foods. It's like Japanese people mixed with like black people, mixed with you name it. It's literally a mixture of Spanish, everything. And they do a lot. I don't know. Chinese food is what I eat a lot when I did. They call fried rice chow fa.
Chow fa?
Chow fa.
Okay.
Chow fa. And roast chow fa.
But so they do it's pretty much fried rice.
Well, that would be just chow fa would be fried rice. But so like a Peruvian dish that I love is called pollo a la brasa, which you can get at there's a place called Pollito con Papas on Gibson right over here. And it's basically rotisserie chicken with Peruvian spices. Delicious. But they do it with like fries and like cilantro rice and pickled onions. Heaven. Ají de gallina, which is this like chili, cheesy chicken. They put it on rice, potatoes. Heaven. They do ceviche too. The best ceviche I ever had in my life was in Peru and is in Peru. I mean, they put this stuff called leche de tigre, which is made with this stuff called rocoto, which is a different type of chili. Unbelievable.
Interesting.
Unbelievable. But they, like I said, they do every kind of food. Anything that you can cook, Peruvians will cook. But it's like it's a fusion. It's unreal. So yeah, we'll have to have you over to have some of our Peruvian food. We make this thing called lomo saltado, which is beef. So if you eat beef,
hell yeah, I love beef. Who doesn't love beef?
Who doesn't love beef?
But that's cool. I can't even think of like what it would be like to go out there sometimes.
Well, yeah. Where have you been? Have you been to
not really
any foreign countries? You ever been to Mexico?
When I was little, but I really don't remember it.
Yeah,
we went to Tijuana for a while.
Tijuana, TJ.
Yeah. Very little though. Like if I see a picture, then I'll be like, I kind of remember that, but nothing too extravagant. Then a couple places here in the United States, like I've been to Arizona, Mesa, and like Phoenix.
Okay.
I've been to Las Vegas. That's a good story.
New Mexico?
No, to Nevada. But I was dating this girl, and she just like was like, I'm having such a depressed time. I'm gonna go to Vegas. Do you want to come with me? And I was like, wait, what? And she's like, yeah, I'll buy the ticket. We'll go to Vegas. We'll come back in 2 days. And I was like, oh my fucking God, sure, why not? And that was my first experience ever flying on a plane.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was just like, this is crazy how that whole thing just kind of went about itself. We got there, we checked into the hotel, and then we started walking the strip and stuff. I remember vaguely a little bit of what went on, and then I just got super drunk.
Okay.
But that's one of those experiences. Like I've never experienced another place or a location. But that's just in the United States. I need to go to like fucking Normandy or fucking. See, I love heavy metal, and I feel like some of the best heavy metal festivals are overseas.
Well, I'm sure that's true. Actually,
Bloodstock, best metal show I've ever heard of. Wacken, best metal show I've ever heard of. Like these things are amazing. There's 4 to 5 days of metal, not just like, hey, come watch a concert at the fucking Journal Pavilion or something.
So you're into music festivals, but you haven't been to any like big ones.
I went to Ozfest, but that was just an all-day thing.
Right.
It was, but
a couple days.
I went to Ozfest in 2006 when it was System of a Down. It was on 4th of July. Really? Beautiful moment, amazing. That's probably one of the first concerts I ever went to. So this is a great story. Is like me and my friend. His name is Paul. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, like we need to go to the concert, and he's like, let's go to Ozfest, and I was like, okay. And I thought this guy was super cool. You know, he was a guitar player as well. He kind of introduced me to the guitar. This guy's awesome. So we ended up getting the tickets, and my mom was like, at that time, I didn't have a license yet.
Okay.
But my mom was still kind of like, whatever. So she let me drive the car there. I could drive myself, go pick up my friend, and then go to the concert.
Right.
I go to my friend's house to go pick him up, and he says, hey, there's a guy down the street. His name's Evan. He's my friend. He's got tickets to the concert. He wants to go early like we're going. His brother's going to meet him later on in the night, but he wants to go now.
Right.
Can we give him a ride? And I was like, sure, why not?
Whatever.
Went to go pick up Evan, went to Ozfest. Little did I know I was going to become best friends with Evan and never talk to Paul again. It was the craziest thing ever. So we as my first concert, we go to the second stage, the show's starting. Heck yeah, first band I think is called Bad Acid Trip.
Okay.
Super cool. They kind of play like hardcore, kind of like punk. Really awesome. They did a song for Buckethead.
Oh, cool.
Buckethead got to feature on one of their songs one time. The singer played for them. played on Buckethead's track. Really cool stuff. That was awesome. That show was so sick. He started like everyone like moshing kind of started.
Right.
And like me and Evan looked at each other and we're just like, let's go in there. Yeah. And then we go in there, we start moshing. And then like I look up and I was like, where's Paul? And he's just right there. Hands crossed, looking at the fucking show the whole time. And I thought this guy was a cool metal guy. I thought he was the cool. He at that time, he was into like Slipknot, Marilyn Manson, Korn, stuff like that. So little did I know he was like a gothic, like introverted, doesn't like to talk to people kind of guy.
Oh.
And he went to a concert to go see System of a Down pretty much. Wasn't really there to see anybody else. But the show started at like 10 o'clock in the morning, and it lasted all the way till almost midnight. So, like, that was horrible. So I'm glad that I met Evan that day because that was my first concert, and the whole time me and him just hung out the whole time.
Oh.
It was a great experience, too, because I learned that Ozzy has a really big fascination with this city because of a drummer that he has, Randy Castillo.
Okay.
Randy Castillo comes from New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and he played on the Bark at the Moon album and another album. So Ozzy loves the state.
Wow.
At that time, Ozfest wasn't as big as it used to be, so they didn't go to all the cities that they were supposed to. They had Ozfest go to like 50 cities, but only Ozzy would be at like 7.
Right.
Only the ones he wanted to. We were so lucky that he picked here.
Yeah.
Not only that year, he played a show with Zakk Wylde on the second stage. So literally, you were like, if you wanted to, you could push your way to go see Ozzy. You didn't have to. You don't have to have a lawn seat. You didn't have to like in the middle seats.
Right.
You didn't have to sneak your way to try to get in the pit. Everything was the pit. And Ozzy played the final. He closed out the second stage, and then played the show, and then that's when the main act started doing their stuff on the main stage.
Damn.
So that was a great experience. Like I never thought I would ever see Ozzy that close. Like it was really cool.
No, that sounds rad.
Saw System of a Down. That was awesome, and it all came together. It all came together. And then there's been other really big like the Family Values tour.
Okay.
With Korn and like alternative new metals. I liked that. What else was it? There was Gigantour with like Megadeth.
Oh, Megadeth.
Megadeth was the one that ran that one, but then they had all the shredders under it. Like that's where I first saw Lamb of God. That's where I first saw Dream Theater. That's where I saw Children of Bodom.
Gigantour, huh?
Gigantour, and I went to all 3 of them that came here to New Mexico. It was fun. So that whole metal thing to me was it brought me into this like knowing about like music in a certain way, because I showed you that video where he's like, once you start learning how to play an instrument, the only people you respect are people that play anything and then that they play something different than you.
Right.
Because you're just like, this guy's good, he's playing. And then he's like, holy shit, he's really good. I can't do that. And then you end up coming with this camaraderie and stuff like that.
Right.
I feel like that's how our connection happened.
Exactly.
Like we started playing, you saw I can play.
Oh, yeah.
And
you
then,
shred, man.
And then we're the same thing. I was just like, holy shit, this guy's legit. Like he's even had some stories. See, there it is again. Don't do that. Yeah. But you've played with some cool guys.
I played some fun with some fun people, but I don't know. I made a lot of bad decisions, and I need to learn how to play this bad boy again. That's it. And that's the thing. Time. How much time do you play a week?
I play at least 20 to an hour every day.
Okay.
Every day. I try every day. I have to at least pick it up. If I get the 20 minutes in, I'm happy. If I get the hour in, I'm ecstatic. If I end up playing for 4 hours, then that makes life even better.
Ooh.
But I've gotten to the point now where I'm kind of doing the whole multitask thing.
Okay.
Where I throw on Joe Rogan's podcast and then I just do monotonous patterns.
Right.
Over and over and over again. So that's kind of where that comes in.
Right.
I wish I was more of I guess I need to work more on being a lyrical writer, like just being able to write music.
Well, right. How my problem is, I was talking about this with my wife the other day, is that I don't want to write her a song that like the words are so permanent. You know, when you write a song, the words do not usually change, right? And so you have to choose your words very wisely. And I don't know. I find it hard to pick the right words. At least that maybe that's part of my whole ego thing, or my not being good enough. Oh, I'm afraid these words aren't good enough, kind of thing. But I don't know, how easy is it for you to write lyrics?
I cannot write lyrics.
Yeah,
and when it comes to music either, I think I'm okay at writing music, but it's more like I love improvising over things.
Yeah.
So I throw on a drum track and then I end up coming up with an idea and I'm like, this is sick. And then 2 weeks later, I never remember it again. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, I should have wrote it down, or I should have kind of worked on it more. I honed on an idea. I should keep it going. I just ditch it, and then I end up starting scale practice again, or here comes arpeggio practice again, or little things like that.
So when it comes to that, do you ever I guess I just don't learn songs anymore. Do you learn songs?
I try to.
That's what you do?
The most recent song that I learned is Volbeat.
I like Volbeat. Elvis-y.
Yeah.
Hard, yeah.
I had a friend, another comedian friend who likes music too. His name is Josh. Shout out to Josh Fournier. I want to have him on the podcast again. But he calls Volbeat the chorus king. Because you always want to sing their choruses.
Okay, yeah.
They're so
they're
catchy. You're
but,
just oh, you just want to sing with him. So
that is true.
I like Volbeat. I remember when I first heard of Volbeat, I was like, holy shit. It's on that Wacken stage. Wacken festival. They were on the second stage. I used to like to watch their DVDs. Wacken used to do these DVDs where they're just like, this was Wacken in 2008, and these were all the lineups of that show. And then I'd end up seeing different bands and stuff. I was like, holy shit.
Right.
Volbeat's sick. Have you ever heard of a band called During Gray?
Oh, yes. During Gray, dude. One of the coolest music videos I've ever seen, During Gray.
It's so crazy. Shit. When I first saw them, I was just like, this is weird. This is so crazy.
It's very anime.
Yeah, very. Again, I think Asian band, that.
Well, there are a lot of shredders from Asia.
Didn't even get me started on that, dude. But you know where they got the influence from, though, right?
Where?
Us.
Metallica?
No. American shredders.
Kiko.
They can't be like
Marty.
Yeah, there you go. There's Marty. There's Paul Gilbert.
Oh, Paul.
There's Joe Satriani, Steve Vai. These guys influenced those guys. Okay. They got good because we created them first. I know, right?
Guys. The American guys.
We're bad. America's badass, dude. I don't know how patriotic you are, dude, but I fucking love how American I am and how amazing we are, dude. Oh my god, America is the best. Everyone tries to steal shit from us. Everyone tries to be like us. It's amazing, dude.
America's the best. He's right. Go America.
I know,
so
dude,
patriotic.
I love America,
never
dude.
Been more patriotic.
You have no idea how much I love America, dude.
It's the best place to be. I couldn't be happier.
Because I feel like we did innovate a lot of different ideas in creativity. Like, I feel that aspect of the freedom of America is what enables us to come up with these great ideas compared to other countries.
Well, sure. And I mean, yeah, I guess a lot of those people don't have access to stuff too, right?
That's another thing too, yeah.
Because I'm sure there are some shredders that are in like Syria or, getting blown up in Palestine right now that just have never had a guitar.
But I think
have the natural ability.
I think still so if you look at all the modern shredders from a foreign country now, I bet you they always go back and look at like Steve Vai.
Well, they have to, right?
Joe Satriani.
Because there's not any other.
Paul Gilbert.
It was because you were the one who was telling me about the Rick Beato Yngwie one, right?
Yeah.
And he was talking about how he hadn't even heard about a bunch of bands when he was even semi-famous in the 80s playing with all these bigger bands like Rat and stuff.
Yeah.
He'd never heard of other people. And I was like, that's pretty wild to think about. That music was like that back then, that you could be that big and still not know massive shredders and massive stuff like that.
But I think that's still very relatable now, though.
Oh, I would agree with that too.
Very, very relatable.
But the market is so filled right now. And does everything seem like I don't know? We were kind of talking about it earlier. Kind of not cookie cutter, but like there's an agenda to every band. Like that I don't know. They push like some weird idea, like people making them wear funky outfits or playing certain type of music in these certain outfits, playing these certain songs.
Like a good example is have you seen any stuff that Angel Vivaldi does?
Oh yeah,
Angel he does like, so he has a song where he does like a dance routine. I think it was with Nina Strauss. Strauss. Yeah, so he does like a dance routine thing where they play guitar, they shred, but it's like 1, 2, turn, throw, and pose, kick, keep doing the tap, kick and tap, kick and tap. So that's crazy because that's like it's kind of like a gimmick thing, right?
Right.
It's like, hey, we're shredders, but we're also putting in elements of dance and stuff like that. His most recent one, he cross-dressed and then he guitar battled himself.
Of course he did.
That's so crazy.
That sounds about right.
That sounds like Angel Vivaldi.
That sounds like Angel Vivaldi. It sounds like the climate we live in today. You know.
That's good too. That's good to think about it that way.
I mean, it's not such a bad thing. I don't know.
See, but I think someone like Angel Vivaldi is more inclined to go with the masses than be an individual.
I mean, sure, maybe. I don't know. That's a funny statement, but yeah, I mean, he is an influencer. He shreds. That boy can shred.
He's good, man.
But really, it's all about being controversial, right?
Okay.
So I guess the thing is, he wants to show the world that maybe he's being inclusive right now. You know, why not? Why not? Wouldn't you? Maybe. I don't know. Would you dress up as a girl?
I have before. I've done it before.
Yeah, I've definitely done it before. Yeah. But I've been thinking about it a lot lately. Would I do it now?
No. See, that's the thing. I wouldn't do it now either. And oh man, this is what. Okay, we're gonna segue a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's a good segue.
Did you know recently? One person has broke the internet recently.
No, what one person?
Cat Williams.
Oh, yes.
Did you hear about this?
I've seen a little bit of the interview.
Yeah, the Shay Shay Club or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
He's going off on everybody. But see, not only is he going off on different people, I feel like he's telling like a high ground, weird moral truth. Like, dude, some of the stuff he's talking about, he's even talking about Illuminatis and being asked to be part of it. And he said no.
Oh, yeah, that stuff he was talking about Chris Tucker and Martin Lawrence and
Ludacris.
Yeah, and Ludacris made a rap about it, right?
Supposedly, the Illuminati literally put both of them against each other. They're like, we're only picking one of you guys.
And you have to shave your afro.
Shave your afro, cut your beard off, and marry a light-skinned woman. That's so crazy. But is he telling the truth? Or are we in like this? Because he's a comedian. We know what he does.
Well, he is a comedian, but again... Cat's always been kind of
like a controversial kind of tell it how it is.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say like he's right or left wing. He's just been like you said, a straight shooter who's been in trouble for saying that kind of stuff before. And I'm sure, I don't know, didn't he talk shit about Kevin Hart too?
Yeah, Kevin Hart.
Yeah, and I don't know how you feel about Kevin Hart, but I don't feel like he's that funny.
I don't know. I mean, he's okay.
He used to be funnier.
I think he's okay. I mean, there's a bunch of the guys that he names, and I'm just like, well, I don't think they're hilarious, but I like the clout that they're in. Like,
right.
He also mentioned Joe Rogan, and he was like, Joe Rogan would never have me on his podcast. He's too busy trying to push 6 unfunny guys.
Oh, that's actually pretty funny.
And you're thinking about it, you're like, oh my God, I've heard people talk so much shit about Bert Kreischer now. I've heard shit about Tom Segura. I mean, who else is on there? Andrew Schultz. There's this one comment where like Andrew Schultz, or it's Dave Chappelle, and Joe Rogan's trying to explain to him about Andrew Schultz, and he's just like, that's not funny. I don't think that's funny. He does his own thing, and that's cool. But I
don't think it's funny.
I don't think it's funny. I'm a stand-up comedian. It's so crazy, dude. And look at Cat Williams. He doesn't have a podcast. He's not trying to push an agenda or something. He just goes out, does his thing, and all the money comes to him.
That's true.
But speaking of like dressing like a girl, he said he's never done anything like that, and he puts it in his contract where he's just like, you don't tell me to do things that I don't want to do just because it's going to make me more money.
Right.
But look at us. We were just about to, I'll put on a dress to get a contract.
I'll wear a dress with Angel Vivaldi.
So who are we? It blows me away.
But would I do that? I don't know. Maybe. Call me Charvel. Call me Jackson.
I love it. If you have a dress for me to put on, I'll do it.
I'll do it if I get an Angel Vivaldi 7-string.
Right, those fucking Charvels are beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, baby. Oh, man. But yeah, I don't know. It's such a different time. I was talking to another one of my high school friends about this, because when we were growing up, the LGBT stuff was still new, I guess. it wasn't as open as it is now, and like being trans and non-binary was. We had a bunch of those types of people at our school, but it was definitely not a thing.
And it wasn't labeled that way either.
Right. And like we would always do things to try to make them feel more included, like why we dressed up as fairy godmother for Halloween with this one kid because he didn't want to be he wanted to dress up as a fairy, and we were like, yeah, whatever, cool.
Yeah.
I don't care. We'll dress up as fairies too. So it sounds good. I mean, I wore girl pants for God's sake.
Yeah.
How can I complain about that? And I don't know. Did I ever tell you that story about getting confused as a transitioning man?
I don't know. Let's hear it.
Oh God.
It sounds like you went into the wrong section at the Walmart and bought some wrong clothes.
No, I wish that was the story. So I used to go to the it's called the San Juan Brewfest up in Durango every year.
San Juan.
Yeah, San Juan.
Juan Brewfest.
Can't do any Spanish right now, but yeah, San Juan Brewfest. Juan. And it's a great time, right? It's a great time. I used to get loaded. I used to be a little bit heavier than this, had more man tits, we'll say. Okay. And I didn't have a beard. I couldn't grow a beard, really. I was too afraid to. Or if I did grow a beard, it would be a very slim neck beard. And it wasn't very good. And so we were up there hanging out with some friends. We're pretty drunk, and I hear this couple behind me going, "Oh man, he's so proud and brave to be out here right now. So recently after his transition, he's got to be so brave to be not wearing a bra and all this stuff." And I'm like, "Who the fuck are they talking about?"
Jesus Christ.
And like this went on for like, I don't know, probably an hour, because the San Juan Brew Fest has a bunch of different places you can go, but we would go to each different stop and try every beer that they had. And by the time I realized that the people had been talking about me, I was like, man, do I kind of look like a fucking fat bitch that's transitioning? And I guess I kind of did. I mean, I still kind of do. I know it's kind of funny because I can't really grow that full of a beard. I got like bald spots and shit. But I don't know. It's interesting that people would even willingly want to look like that. Does that make sense? Like, because the testosterone doesn't make you look like man. Like He-Man, fucking Jake Paul kind of looking.
Yeah.
It makes you look like me.
Yeah.
Puby fucking beard, puby fucking mustache kind of shit. So.
But I mean, that's the thing though, right? Is it's like I can't get to that definition of a man, but there's still this definition of a man. Can I get there? And they're like, well, we have some stuff to get you there, at least started. Isn't that kind of?
I guess that's true.
But it's kind of weird to think that too. Is like we have our own establishments of like what really is a man, right?
All right.
Like there's the hard-working man who's like full-blooded American. I had to throw that in there because I love America. But you get what I'm saying is like this rugged, like hard dude. You have to have a construction job. It has to be this kind of thing.
Blue-collar worker.
And then it comes down a little bit lower where you're just like, well, we started to learn that like some men like to relate feelings more. Is that a bad thing? Well, no. We've seen that relationships end up a lot better when a man actually, is more in tune with like letting the wife know, like, I'm unhappy with this. I don't like this. Not hide it and put it under a table and like let it get concave into more and more problems. But I mean, how bad is it knowing that like there is some kind of like, is there a middle ground in that sense? Because don't get me wrong, I do kind of feel sometimes I am a very masculine man trying to step up in certain aspects, being a hard worker, doing things I am. But I'm glad that I can actually relate to being a pussy sometimes and just be like, hey, I'm not feeling great right now. I should let somebody know, like, because it's probably going to help me in the long run.
Well, right.
And do you take that as like, is that him just being transitioning into a woman, or am I just taking all the aspects of being a human being
I wouldn't say you're transitioning
and trying to be like a person? Like we all have these feelings.
I wouldn't say you're transitioning, but it's just because growing up, we were taught to be the man. We were taught to be the masculine. I mean, at least I was. Everybody was like, "Oh, be a man. Hold your feelings in. Don't cry. Don't none of that shit. Be a man. Be a man."
But like to the sense, yeah, we got lucky a little bit earlier, right? Because my dad's same thing. He doesn't even really understand the whole LGBT.
Right.
Like if I bring it up, he's just like, "What?" He doesn't
know.
know. But see, that's the thing is like the next generation ends up kind of being a little more lenient towards trying to transition kids, right?
Right. They're the opposite. all about it.
And I mean, this is kind of hard for us because we don't have kids.
Right.
But like, would we fall into the social pressures of like, hey, I saw this video one day of this lady who went into a classroom and in front of the world map, the teacher put an LGBTQ flag up. So the mom goes in there and rips the flag down and says, I want my son to be a man, and you're teaching him these ideologies of being somebody that I don't want him to be.
Oh, wow.
I want him to be a man, and I want him to work hard. And it turned into this weird situation where it's just like, who do you side with? Obviously, this woman is just trying to be inclusive to all the other students. There's other people in the class that feel different. I get it. But I wouldn't want my kid also where the teacher's like, Jimmy, do you really feel like a man? And then Jimmy has to think about that at the age of 6.
Right.
And that's where it gets difficult.
Well, right. What were you ever asked any of those kind of questions when you were younger? I don't remember that even being a conversation.
As far as I can recall any of those little things, I don't really can't remember any of that.
Yeah. I don't even think people, well, maybe people have always been that way, but again, it wasn't something that was talked to. It wasn't something that was brought up to children.
Yeah.
It wasn't something like, and that's a strange thought too, because again, we don't have kids. But how would I feel about teachers being like, "Oh, well, yeah, Jimmy, you can become Janie."
Yeah. See, without your consent,
right?
You're
Without
not
talking
there.
to me,
Yeah.
I don't know how I would feel. I don't think I would like that.
See, it's
but
crazy.
Again, I don't know.
And then, see, this is the other crazy thing too. Is like, if that thing happens, do you have the support of your significant other to back you up, or are they kind of like, hey, don't be a bad person,
Oh, no, mine would be like, fuck them.
See, that's good.
Fuck them.
But that just means that you have you guys have built a relationship together where your ideologies and your beliefs are put together, not where it's just like, hey, you're hot, and we connected together, and then through this process you end up finding out like, oh. And that's what most of society is now, they find out after the fact. They have a kid, they end up living together, and then all of a sudden it crumbles because there was no social foundation from the beginning.
Right. Well, and that's a big problem with relationships. And that's why it's strange to me that people are connecting through like apps and stuff. Because I don't know. I did a little bit of that when I was younger.
Same.
But it wasn't like, I don't really feel like I ever made connections with people through that kind of stuff. It was mostly just like hookup kind of shit.
Can I get laid?
Yeah. Hey, what are you doing? Are you still available? Are you bored? But never like friendships from that kind of stuff. But I guess the younger generation, that's the only way that they know how to communicate texts. But they didn't like IM. I don't know if you were part of like the AIM people, AIM Instant Messenger kind of stuff.
Very little. Like I really didn't hit the whole social thing until MySpace came out.
Okay.
So I jumped on the MySpace thing. I didn't have a phone I had MySpace before I actually had a phone.
Okay.
And I didn't even have a MySpace at my home. My friend, I would go to his house and just like, see, this is where social media, I think, fucked me too, is because I got so entrapped in like trying to like, I got to build a MySpace, and I got to put cool music, and who are my top 10 friends.
But
and
how
like,
rad was that? Come on.
It is cool, but I lost social interaction with I went to my friend's house just to use his internet so I can fix that.
But didn't you have like a cool template and like a cool page?
It's just like Matrix falling. I was like, this is cool.
Yeah, and then I got two musics at play, you know? Oh, I got hidden music. Yeah. MySpace was a shit, man.
But I don't know, kind of like, did it make us into a more... See, it
did fuck us up. I will.
But did it though? Okay, here's another great example of that though. Now people can talk around the world that have never been able to talk to each other ever. Like when I was really big on using Facebook, I joined a bunch of Facebook groups and stuff, and then you end up finding out stuff from like, hey, this person plays Pokemon in Japan. Hey, this person plays Pokemon in Australia. You want to trade Pokemon with me? You'll trade with me all the way in Australia, and then you end up getting these cool different connections and stuff. I joined this Pokemon group when I was like 7 years ago. Okay. It was just like, hey, we talk about, Wonder Wednesday or Wonder Trade Wednesday. What did you get on your Wonder Trade Wednesday? Or like, does anybody have a shiny Snorlax that can trade me for something? So you go through these things, and I met this girl who was from Alaska, and I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, here's a free. I have a couple of EVs. I'll throw you some shiny EVs and stuff. And then we end up talking. Then we end up getting a connection. Little did I know, I end up falling in love with this girl, and I want to move to Alaska now, which would have been a horrible idea.
Oh, come on.
Horrible. But to think that connection came from that.
Right.
But then you have the concept of like, was she real? Could it have been a catfish? You know, you do your research and stuff. I mean, I'm glad that she has another boyfriend and they take pictures and stuff. And I'm just like, that's cool. Like, she was real because she was real. Like, I get to see the trend, but who knows? See, that's
with AI, you never know, brother.
Now it's even worse.
AI is terrifying.
That's so funny though. It's like you can literally. I love the episode of South Park where like he just takes his text and puts it in AI, and whatever AI says, he sends it back to Wendy, and then she's in love with him even more. But is that a bad thing? Because AI kind of brings more of the quality of humans out.
I don't know.
Should we be talking like that instead of talking the way we do?
I don't know. That's an odd question. The interesting thing to think about AI is it is just like a little human.
Yeah.
You know, it is just a new human that we're training, and it only knows the information that we put into it. And that's the strength. That's what people are afraid of, because they're like, oh, what if we give it bad information? And I'm like, what is bad information really? Honestly, like, would you want him sharing information about like the Holocaust, or sharing information about the Jewish internment or Japanese internment camps and stuff during World War II? That kind of stuff. Would they want that? Probably not. The left would probably say absolutely not. But I'm like, but isn't all data good data? Or would that bad data potentially corrupt the AI into thinking that, well, maybe some mass genocide is okay based on certain tier levels?
Okay.
You know, based on different data. Because that's the way AI works. It's all based on data that is input into it.
Yeah.
It's all input based. And then it makes inferences based off of what it learns, right?
Yeah.
So, oh God.
And then the thing that's pretty crazy now is that like it's constantly learning because of all the information we're putting into it. Like we're putting so much things in the Chat GPT now that it's obviously learning at a rate that is unfathomable. Like,
oh yeah, 100%.
It's crazy. It's amazing.
It's scary, but it could be cool. Like you said, it could also be very beneficial. I mean, should we talk like that? I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say how people should talk, really, because don't people just talk like their environment? Usually, they talk like the people that are around them. Try to sound cool or try to find some way to sound entertaining to them.
Then that's influence, right?
Yeah.
But then is that the right way?
Right.
That's the crazy part. Yeah. Even when you do math and stuff, like you do math depending on the people you learn math from.
Right.
Like when I was a kid, I saw like I learned math, whatever. I'm doing my times tables or whatever. Now I see these videos of kids doing timetables, but they're using these techniques with like lines. They're like, oh, I draw 4 lines, then I draw 3 across, and then I draw another 4 lines, and that's the answer.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, wait, what? I had to go through this complex method of just like, you have to memorize. I'm memorizing how to do 6 times 7, 6 times 8. I have to memorize. I'm not doing it in a very justified kind of like, yeah, it's like mapping it out, which is you'll always get the answer instead of memorizing it, because your memory can be faulty sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Ain't that the case? Like you can always believe that 6 times 6 is going to be 36, but one day I feel like you're going to be like, it's maybe 66.
It's 66.
And you might just...
It is.
Who knows?
Then you'll be real fucked. Yeah. 66.
Isn't 6 times 6 66?
Yeah, 6 times 6 is definitely 66.
And I think that does happen over time. If you have a way to like... So like music is a great example. Like when you play piano, you'll always know how to play piano because of the muscle memory that you developed. But if you get dementia... you probably will forget that you know how to play it until you start playing it.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've seen a bunch of those videos where they're just like, this guy's gone through dementia, but yet he still plays what he used to know when he was 15.
Right.
So what is that? What is...
It's your brain being wired. Once you wire it, it's hard for it to be unwired, right?
Can it, though? I mean...
It can be unwired.
You've seen those...
Dementia does, yeah.
You've seen those things, too, where it's just like drinking a bunch of alcohol destroys the brain in a certain way and stuff like that.
And it does. But yeah, it used to be like a chore to try to see if I could get fucked up and still play.
Yeah.
You know, be like, ooh, how fucked up can I get?
See, I can't. So when I used to do that, I was like, you have to limit yourself on hill because you know you're gonna cross the threshold and you're gonna suck. Don't get too drunk where you get to the sucking part.
We'll see.
Drink a little bit so you know you're good. But if you get to that part, you're gonna suck.
Well, yeah. So the problem was I wouldn't stop at that suck.
Yeah. You know that you're just like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck this, fuck you. Where's more booze?
Yeah, right.
Huh? Where are we going? Why are we here? This is dumb. This is a waste of time.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, horrible. But
but like just like your shirt says though, life is good.
Dude, life is good. Life is great, man. Oh, that's another thing in Peru. If you ever need Life is Good shirts, I buy them down there for $7 a t-shirt.
There you go. And then you come back and sell them for $15.95.
They cost way more than that in America, but yeah, $7 a piece is what I pay for them.
That's good. And that's one of those simple, wholesome message. Dude, that would sell in New Mexico like crazy. It looks like a fucking New Mexico logo.
That's what I'm saying. I could buy 20 of them and just...
Yeah.
Yeah, $7.
That'd be cool if you can come up with like a distribution deal where you mail them the money, they'll mail you the shirts, and then you just sell them from there.
That would be cool.
Because you kind of have to go there, right, to buy them?
Yeah, they would tax the shit out of me if I bought more than what I usually buy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd have to pay taxes on it probably.
You're like son of a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, that would be fun. It could be lucrative, but again, the taxes are wild. I don't know. They always steal liquor from me when I come back.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I bring liquor back for like my wife, and for her friends always send us back with like a fancy bottle of liquor.
Uh-huh.
And every single time.
You can't have this. You can't have this, sir.
Yeah, they're like, oh, well, no, it'll be in our checked bags, and they'll leave one of them, but the other one, the expensive one, will be gone.
Oh, shit.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, what are you going to do, right? Complain?
Oh, well, I mean, I guess I could formally complain.
Then you'd be there for even longer, not even be able to go home, and then there would be loopholes that are like, well, now we got to get this person in here to talk to you, and we got to get this person in here to talk to you. You got to fill out a form now.
It probably wouldn't get resolved,
It would take so long if it did.
It honestly wouldn't probably get resolved, and I would just look like a whiner, and they'd be like, oh, well, you didn't disclose that, so we took it.
Nice.
Like, oh.
Son of a bitch.
You guys rock. But I don't know. I don't understand laws like that either. You're only allowed to take a certain amount of money into different places. You have to disclose all kinds of stuff like gifts.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
You're like, it was a stuffed animal. They're
Yeah,
like, no, it's not. It's got cocaine in it, bro. I got to rip it up, fool.
Yeah, I'm bringing cocaine from America to Peru.
And they're like, you got to rip it up,
This fool was bringing all kinds of dumb shit.
Is he bringing an iPhone? Get it out of here, dog.
I took a Nintendo Switch the last time.
Yeah.
The prices are insane down there, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, like, so I think the Switch costs 3 times what it would cost here, if that makes any sense. So, what, $400 for the OLED or $350, $299?
Yeah.
Down there, at least $900, if not $1,200
Of American money?
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, that's weird.
Wild.
But then you get shirts for $7.
Well, right. So apparently the electronics are what's really taxed down there.
Okay.
Yeah. So like,
and those are all imports. I get that.
Yeah,
that's made there, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is Peruvian cotton, made in Peru.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So
yeah. That's why. Like, if it has to be distributed somewhere else, then I think it'd be a lot more.
Well, and I think Samsung's headquarters is in South America.
Oh, okay.
So I think it would be cheaper, but all of that stuff is really expensive. All of it. All of it. I don't know. It's wild to think that we have so many luxuries and how cheap a lot of those luxuries are. I mean, besides, like guitars. I was talking to somebody about the guitar market yesterday and how insane it's gotten through COVID and how it's probably not going to get any better, going forward. Or I don't know. Do you think it's going to get lower, or do you think it's just going to continue to skyrocket?
So high-end guitars would still be the same price, if not more?
If not more, yeah.
I guess I can see that, but I think it's more because of like quality making.
Okay.
So these guitars, maybe yours not as much, but like my guitar, that one, and then like the other Ibanez, those are mass produced in factories. Right. Those are just thrown in there. But
this one's factory produced too.
Okay, so do you think there's a different level of factory produced guitars?
Oh yeah.
So some of them get slapped in, and other ones are more assembly lined, kind of this guy hooks it in there instead of a machine doing it, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. But again, there are types of companies out there like the one that you were looking at, that $250 guitar, the Legator. I mean, there's no reason there shouldn't be trickle down for all this stuff, because all of the pickups that we play nowadays, they're all pretty much the same ones, right?
Yeah, they're designed.
Yeah,
the same.
it's all the same design.
It's like a
basically.
They're just like, our faceplate is different than all the other
Right.
ones or something.
Right. And so all of the guitars basically sound the same because they all have the same pickups in them. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Like, the body really doesn't matter when it comes to the pickups. The pickups are really what matters.
Yeah.
And I guess your tone, your feel. But mass-produced, like, Ibanez makes a lot of good guitars. Those Japanese mass-produced guitars are really sick. There's a company called Harley Benton, apparently from Germany, that makes like budget guitars, like $250 to $400, really nice guitars that are all like steel jumbo frets, locking tuners, roasted maple necks, all the accoutrements of like nice stuff. But then you look at stuff like PRS where you pay $2,500 for an American-made guitar that was made in a factory too. But I mean, there was a little more love put into it, I guess.
Yeah, see, that's what I don't get too. Is like, compared to this Gem Junior and the actual Gem, where is the manufacturing difference? Like, is it going through the same line, or are you literally have a different factory or a different line where it's just like, this goes here? It's not like, say, like an air conditioner setting where you're just like, oh, I'm gonna do gem setting today, and then all the beautiful gems go through, and it's like, all right, let's go back to the junior, and then the junior ones get pushed in.
Right.
That's one question I've always had about guitar producing, because I've seen people try to make guitars too. That's cool too. I mean, you see it now. I've showed you on Amazon. You can build your own guitars. They just come all in pieces, and then you do the rest. Does that make your guitar more high-end than something like this?
I don't know.
Is it built with the same kind of aspect? Like, that's what's weird about it. Like, obviously, there's different aspects, like maple necks, rosewood necks.
The quality's different for sure, but I don't know about different. I don't know. Tone is such a strange thing. The way a guitar sounds, you can have the cheapest guitar in the world, and it sounds better than any $10,000 guitar.
Yeah.
It might even depend on the day,
Yeah.
Like if the guitar is too cold, the neck is all stretched. It's weird how that works.
And
so,
I've always been a big firm believer of the player as well.
Yeah.
The player can make the guitar sound the way it wants to sound. Like, if I pick up your guitar, it would still sound good. Just like if I picked up the Ibanez, it would still sound good. Even the lowest end Fender Squier.
Sometimes.
You think so?
Sometimes. I've played some real shitty guitars.
Okay.
That, with quality control issues, with shouldn't even be a guitar kind of stuff.
But I'm pretty sure you still make it pass, right? Or you're just like,
no, I don't. There's like you were saying, like, it depends on the day. I used to make the joke about that old Strat, my first Strat, that 1982 Squier. I would put that guitar up against any American-made Strat to this day. I would put it up against any of them. The only problem with it now is the neck's broken. But it must have been, that one day on the line, there was that one worker that finished putting it together, did the last QC stuff or whatever, soldered the last thing together, and that was the only variable that mattered. And there's a bunch of different people, because, this guitar came with, a tag that has it signed by all the people, the person who put in the pickups, the person who did the neck, the person who did whatever, that's a big deal right now. And I don't know how you feel about like Masterbuilt guitars. Have you seen any of that crap? Like Fender Masterbuilt, these like $15,000 relict Jaguars and $15,000 relic Stratocasters and shit
that are like rebuilt, or just like they're taking that old model and rebuilding them again.
So you literally call these guys. You call the artist. You go, oh, I want Levi Perry, right? Or that's one of the ones that I know off the top of my head. You go, I'm gonna talk to this guy. I want a 1962 Fender Strat built with. I want it to weigh like 5 pounds. I want it to look like this. I want it to have these pickups. I want it to have this type of neck. I want it to have blah 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 blah. And this one person crafts the guitar from start to finish.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I know there's car guys that do that.
Right.
Where they're like, oh my God, I love the 1960 Mustang, but I want the inside to look like now.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go and do that whole restoration and make it look how they want it to look.
Right.
But there's guitar guys that do that too.
Oh, yeah.
You literally can be like, I want a toggle switch, and I want a kill switch, and I want an active booster on my knob. And don't put the kill switch next to the knobs
Move it
up to the top or something.
Oh yeah,
Put a G bender in there.
Or G bender, B bender, E bender, whatever you want.
That's so crazy.
But yeah, they do all kinds of wild stuff, and they're insanely expensive. But a lot of those are like super relict, which I don't know how you feel about that. What are your feelings on that kind of stuff?
I think that's cool. I think that I think that you can build it a certain way for your liking. I think it's pretty cool.
Okay.
And that's like almost anything now though, because like obviously you build a computer and you start putting the parts you want in it to make it run better.
But you don't beat it up.
You don't beat up your guitar.
Well, that's what they do to the relic, man.
So it's an old. They technically just take an old guitar and just make it.
No, they make a new guitar.
The whole thing. You're just like, I want the Fender Telecaster.
Oh, they make like a story for it. They'll be like, oh yeah, so you see these dings in it. That happened when Joe Jack was doing blah de blah.
Oh,
and this ashtray, this burn up here is from a cigarette in 1972, and I'm like, I don't need to hear that shit.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
But no, they also do some really cool stuff. I've been really obsessed with like Jazz Masters with P90s lately.
Okay.
Like 3 P90s with a 3-way switcher. Obsessed.
You can hear the difference on all three of them.
Yeah, but I would put a 5-way switcher in that.
Okay.
And maybe a coil tapper so I could do like that would be cool because they also make a P90 that's a stacked humbucker now.
Oh, okay.
Which is wild.
Seeing that the more design, they're trying to like let's make it a little different, and then that's where like you hear stories, right? Like the whole Greenie, the guitar.
Oh god.
Yeah, see, just something like that. Like the pickups were switched the wrong way, and like the neck broke, and they had to restore it, but yet. Still a great, amazing sounding guitar. Like,
does Greenie sound that good?
I think if I feel like if I were to play Greenie, I feel like it would sound amazing. But I feel like it would sound just like if the BC Rich up there.
You think Greenie would sound like the BC Rich? Huh?
I think it would sound like that.
I don't know. I shouldn't say I could never justify $2 million for a guitar, but. I don't know.
That's a hard one to swallow.
It's just funny the way they describe it. Oh well, it's an out of phase pickup. They put it in backwards, and we just left it like that. And when you put it in the middle position, it sounds like a Strat because it's out of phase. And I'm like, well, so then why don't they just do that on all Les Pauls? If they were wanting to try to get a Strat sound out of a Les Paul, but most people don't want to play a Les Paul to sound like a Strat.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Right.
So it's like just one of those, I guess, custom innovation that you're just like, this is what I want it to sound like.
Well, kind of, yeah, but it was a happy accident, and now they're like, oh, well, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's like a holy thing.
It's the best thing ever. Well, why don't you have you seen any of the like Epiphone reissues and all of that stuff last year?
I don't think so.
Oh, God, so that was one of the guitars that they decided to do like a Murphy Lab and a Epiphone reissue on, and it's I believe it's the first... Epiphone reissue with like a Gibson style headstock, the big one, not the normal Epiphone style one. But it's like $1,700, $1,800, something crazy like
That's
that.
ridiculous.
And I'm like, for an Epiphone, really?
Yeah, right.
Because I don't know, growing up, Epiphone was like $300, $400, $500. That was like the
low end of the Gibson.
Yeah, and you couldn't get anything for. I mean, I guess you could get like a $900 Epiphone, but. Nothing really.
Then at that point, you would just be like, why don't I just get the Gibson?
Well, right. And then do you remember how reasonable Gibsons were when we were growing up? Or at least I say reasonable.
I remember, I think it was like a Angus Young SG starter, but it still was a Gibson. It was an Epiphone. And that's where I think I know what you're talking about. Still had those. Hey, we got starter guitars for Gibson too. $200, $300. You don't have to spend the grand for the SG Gibson. But then that's where licensing agreements and stuff come in, right? Because then Epiphone is like, well, we want to take your idea and put our label on it.
Right.
We get either I'm not too sure how that would work. They're like, here's a percentage of what we make off of all those, or we're just giving you a flat rate right now.
Right.
And then we don't have to worry about ever controversy coming up ever again. I don't know how that works. So
yeah, I honestly don't know how any of that works. Doesn't Epiphone? I don't know. Is Epiphone owned by Gibson now?
That I wouldn't.
An affiliate?
I wouldn't doubt that.
I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's an interesting thought because Gibson sued a bunch of people like a bunch of times. Like they sued Paul Reed Smith for the single cut, the Tremonti, because it infringes on the Les Paul body shape.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's just a crazy thought. But Gibson sues people. Gibson has sued people. But I've never really so I was talking to you about this actually the other day, about how I don't really like Gibsons per se. But I guess I was also thinking I haven't really played any expensive ones.
Yeah.
In my life, because I've always been too afraid to play something that's like, a $10,000 1959 reissue.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it seems like a relic at that point.
I'm gonna break it. You want me to scratch it, and then you're gonna be like, oh well, now you owe us $10,000, buddy.
You're like, how would you play something this expensive, right?
Well,
unless you have the money.
Well, right. I mean, I guess I could justify it because I don't know. I look at the Paul Reed Smith private stocks all the time, and the cheapest ones of those are like $12,000.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think I could justify that. Like, oh yeah, well, it's a one of a kind, honey. It's beautiful. It's like a piece of art. We'll just hang it up on the wall.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this the other day. I was looking at the flame on here. I think it got fucked up by cat piss.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I don't know. I have a cat that one of the cats hides under the bed, and I think she used to pee on it when she was scared.
And that was under the bed?
Yeah. The bed that she would hide under.
Well, like the guitar or in the case?
It would be in the case.
Oh.
Yeah, I wouldn't leave this baby out.
But like you can tell it peed on the case and that smell sleeping through.
I wouldn't even say that. I look at the stain on it and I don't know, maybe the lacquer's just old.
Maybe. I would say
it's
that
2012.
That sounds way more reasonable than the cat has acid piss go straight through the case.
I don't know, man. I watch South Park. They always have talk about cat piss.
You're like, I was cheesing, and then all of a sudden my cat was on top of my guitar.
Yeah, she cheesed all over my guitar. She's my favorite cheeser.
That's so funny. I mean, what else? The only other topic that I was going to talk about was healthcare, because we kind of work in the healthcare industry.
Oh God,
healthcare. And the hardest part about it is is some of it just a conspiracy now? Like people just trying to make money in the healthcare system?
Well, that's all healthcare has been, right?
I mean, you have to think of like the moral doctors that are trying to help you compared to a doctor who's like, you have a sciatic nerve pain and you can't do anything about it. You have to get this kind of treatment and you have to go through years of therapy compared to another doctor who's just like, bro, do some yoga and you'll be fine.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think there may be some good doctors out there.
Very slim.
But I wouldn't even say very slim. I would say that the American medical system and the medical system that we've grown up in has been very impacted by making sure that there are large revenue streams. It's not about care anymore. It as much as it is about making sure that you get the right thing done, it's more about making sure that they can send you to your primary, and then your primary has to refer you to your specialist, and your specialist has to refer you to X and Y to get your CT scan or to get your whatevers. It kind of is a racket, but at the same time, there are some doctors trying to do the right thing, but at the same time, like you said, so could they get the medicine version of it? Could they get the surgery or the injections or blah, 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 or do the holistic approach, the yoga approach, the healthier approach? And I think there's an argument for both. And I'm the kind of guy who's kind of stuck in the middle, because I kind of want to be the yogi, but I smoked forever, I drank forever, I like to a little bit, and so who am I to talk? Who am I to say? I'm the kind of guy who eats fucking McDonald's, twice a week, and I love that shit.
That's crazy though. See, because after you learn about that stuff, doesn't it kind of worry you a little bit?
Oh hell yeah, but. Have you ever had McDonald's?
I love McDonald's, but I gotta. Where is the discipline that I can't better my life there?
But is it really bettering your life? I don't know. I talk about this a lot with people because that was my argument for not quitting drinking and not quitting smoking cigarettes. Was like, I've been doing it the last 12 fucking years of my life. What's the point in stopping it now? My body's used to it, because that was a big thing that I learned from old people. Going back to our healthcare thing, because when I started working in the healthcare, I was an 18-year-old kid. I was fresh out of high school. I I love talking to people, but I didn't know how to interact with people, and I didn't know that there would be so many different stories. And the when you talk about old people and people in healthcare, you learn that old people farms, as I used to refer to them as, old nursing homes, they really are exactly that. They try to make sure that they keep people alive as long as possible.
And then not only that, though, but that the numbers are filled.
Right. It doesn't matter about, how good they're being taken care of. All that matters is there's a body there, and that we are getting paid,
to have that body there.
$250 a day, $240 a day to provide
basic necessities.
Yeah, food, water, wiping your ass, kind of stuff. And it's crazy to think that that's what it's become. And I don't know. I was actually talking about it with some of those people. And you have to either be in America, at least, maybe not other countries, because I can't speak for other socialist countries. But like, you either have to be rich or you have to be destitute. You have to have a ton of money in your savings to have private caregivers. Or you have to sell all of your assets, your whole house, your cars, everything, to be stuck at a place like we work.
And that's what's crazy to think about too. Is like some of these people work so hard, and now that's their end game. Like that's as far as they're ever gonna go from is that spot.
Right, and keeping them alive is the name of the game. I mean, honestly, that's what they want. Because again, like you said, it doesn't matter how good they're being taken care of, as long as we have a full census, and then we can make the right amount of money. And I don't know, that's the way the hospitals work too. The hospitals are all about census, and that was crazy during COVID because they had to basically cut their numbers in half. Think about that. So if they were running a 2-occupancy room, every single one of those rooms became a single occupancy room overnight, which immediately cut their revenue in half. And then once they were able to do what they considered COVID units, where they could basically throw up a curtain and create a makeshift room, they could get paid, I don't know the exact numbers, but they were getting paid an extra amount of money for having X amount of COVID beds, which is why there was I won't say the name of a facility, but there was a facility that changed strictly to a COVID unit, and they made sure that place was full every single day.
Because there was more funding for something like that.
Right. And so it's really all about playing the game, and that's the strange thing about Medicare and Medicaid now, is that like CMS, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, they change the rules every few years, trying to figure out new ways to, mess with people like the Oasis people and the nursing homes, to figure out, not even mess with them, I should say, figure out new ways to get better information is what they say. But really it's just trying to find ways to not pay us for things that we should be.
Okay.
But yeah, healthcare in America is in shambles. I don't think healthcare in other places is in shambles, because I was blown away when I was in Peru. Socialist medicine, I could go to any pharmacy, I could go to any hospital, and I could say, hey, I need amoxicillin, I need blah, I need to get an x-ray, I need to get this, and they say, yeah, you got money?
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's way easier, because
no problem.
Do they have it in a sense of like, you obviously have a competing kind of sense, like you would rather go to this guy who has a doctor than this kind of doctor?
So the weird thing about hospitals there is anybody that's a doctor could open up a hospital, and the bigger groups of doctors open up bigger hospitals. So yeah, there are different levels of hospital. Like there's private hospitals, there's public hospitals, state hospitals, that kind of thing. And then there's like clinics, there's step down. So like every neighborhood has like a clinic with like a doctor in it. But yeah, you can go to like
a higher end if you wanted to.
Yeah, like whatever, Mount Sinai, whatever in LA, all that kind of stuff.
But,
or you can go to, witch doctor.
But in Peru, they do have a baseline.
Oh yeah.
For people that everybody can come.
Oh yeah.
Kind of compared here, but still to the sense where like, because we do.
But the baseline is so much better
over there.
It's easy access.
That's good.
It's literally, there's a hospital in your neighborhood. You go to the hospital, the public hospital. They'll take care of you.
And that's kind of the case here, right? If you get shot, you can go to the hospital and they'll take care of you. But
yeah, but you don't have to pay for it there. Here you do.
Even if it's like an emergency?
No. Yeah, it's socialized medicine.
So over there.
And they get paid every 2 weeks.
Okay.
It's weird. I don't know. I was very confused by the whole system. Blown away.
Okay. Because it sounds weird, because it sounds confusing in the sense where like you'll still get the care here, but it may not be as rapid or it may not be as efficient.
Well, yeah. So think about how rapidly. Have you ever had to get anything done in a hospital here, like any specialists?
Yeah, like some stitches and stuff. Like nothing where it's just like my kidney had to come out or something, or my appendix.
Okay.
I mean, okay, the most tragic thing maybe is like I got circumcised when I was 10.
Oh, you waited till you were 10. That sounds terrible.
Well, like I didn't know about like, personal hygiene as well.
So you got balanitis.
Yeah, so my mom was just like, I don't know what to do. What's going on? So they took me to the doctor and they're like, it's very curable. You just got to cut the tip off.
Right, simple.
Get it off. You're going to get all that stuff out and you're going to be fine.
Right,
but I was 10 years old, so you have to go into surgery for that.
Mm-hmm.
When you're smaller, it's kind of easier because it's more of a less sensitive part of your body.
Right.
So that's what's so crazy about that. But I did have to go under, I don't know if there's a specialist that does surgery for penises, but.
Yeah, there is urologist, but yeah.
So I did. That would be the only major surgery that I've ever had.
Okay.
Besides wisdom teeth or something like that, but that doesn't count either.
Yeah, that's what they told me after my most recent surgery, that it didn't count. I don't know. I think in Peru I would have gotten rid of this thing in my mouth a lot quicker because I had to get referred. So I had to ask my dentist to get referred for something because they didn't even think it was anything. They were like, oh, well, it's just a bump. And I was like, well, it's growing. And then finally got referred to an oral surgeon who did a biopsy, who referred me to another oral surgeon, an ENT doctor, to get it removed. And that took a year and a half.
But in that whole time, you think it would have gone faster in a Peru medical sense?
1,000%.
That's crazy.
1,000%. It would have been done in probably 2 weeks.
And as you went through these specialists, each of them got paid for it, right?
Yeah.
I fucking hate that, dude.
Oh, yeah, dude.
That shit sucks.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And then that's what makes it even worse because you start to think about like pharmaceutical companies now.
Oh, yeah.
And they get pushed with the doctor. The doctor's like, again, you have those doctors that have moral value and they'll be like, I don't want to prescribe this because you might get, but that's very slim now because there is an incentive to like make more money and push something that like is going to benefit you. You have a family at home too. You have kids that have medical care that need to have taken care of. Right. You have to make sure that you can do that. And guess what? Here comes this pharmacy company who's like, we tested it 12 times. Yeah. Don't you think that's good enough?
That's good. Isn't it good? Don't you know how good it is?
But that's what sucks about our job though, is that like this round they wanted to stick us with how many vaccines?
That's true. And there were new ones. There's a bunch of new ones that we have to get now.
This is the shitty part. I hate about this. When I first started working in the healthcare industry and the COVID happened, they threatened me with my job.
Oh, I was told I had to get it or I was fired.
That's how fucked up that was. And I'm in a situation that I don't want to go look for another job. It's very hard to find another job in that sense of where COVID was happening now. Mm-hmm. So they made you be subservient and do it.
Yep.
Not only did I have to do it, I did it twice.
I've got 4.
You see, I can't. I don't want to because I feel like it's being pressured into doing something that I'm not going to do, and we don't know the full bend side effects of what's going on right
100%
now.
100% agree.
And I'm scared. Like, what's not to say in another 5 years that dude.
I'm telling you, it didn't start until after I got the vaccine.
Oh, see, that's scary. That's so scary, dude. But see, we work at a facility that kind of pushes us to do that.
Oh, well, and apparently, and my big thing, if I was the one working the floor, getting the consent signed, I would tell them, hey, you should decline all these.
Yeah, see?
You should decline all these.
Okay, see, this is what I kind of like about the mixed dynamics in our building. I mean, a.k.a. Jose, is a very controversial person.
Oh, yes.
But I love his moral high ground on his own self. If he thinks it's not right, he won't do it.
No masks, baby.
No masks, no vaccine, no nothing.
Yeah, none of it.
But why is it that somebody like that was able to get away with it and not someone like me?
Right, you or me.
Yeah, why?
Exactly.
Is it the position of power that he supposedly has, or is it the fact of the person that he is? Outspoken, very loud, aggressive. Is that why you were less, we'll let it slide, I guess.
Right, maybe.
But what's not to say I wouldn't try to sue you guys or see what's the difference? That's what makes me so mad about that.
Well, and that is an interesting part about where we where we do work. I don't know. That may not be something we want to talk about on here. But
And that's probably not every location like that, right? I
Right.
think that's just more of where we are.
I think it's just dynamics. Yeah, it's interesting to think about how different people react to different things and are allowed to react to different things. Because if I were to do something like that, it would be the end all be all. I'd be hearing about it.
Termination.
Probably.
Termination.
Likely or written up.
Yeah.
Whereas,
Someone
nothing.
in another sense doesn't get that kind of thing.
Absolutely nothing.
So now my frame of reference is if they tell me to do it, I reference other people in the building that aren't
Right.
doing it, and I'm just like, if they're not doing it, why do I have to do it?
Right.
And that's it. That's how lucky that I am at my other building. I want to say names so bad.
Don't do it.
Everybody there complied. That's why I had to comply, because I didn't have anybody to piggyback on, and I can be like, well, you let this guy, look at
Right.
him. Just because he's an administrator, you let him get away with it? That's
Right.
no fair.
Right. What
But
about me?
everybody conformed, and I had to conform. I go to this location, and guess what? There's a little bit of outspokenness. Thank God, because it may not be beneficial for the company, but for that exact moment of what was happening with healthcare, thank God that was happening right there, because
Right.
I mean, I hate to say it, but I wouldn't want to be in your situation with 4.
Oh.
Like, I don't know what that's going to do.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither.
And you're a medical guy.
Oh yeah. Well, and I didn't want to get it. That's the thing. That may be a controversial topic too, but I didn't want to get it initially. But like you said, it was one of those things you have to. I'm either losing my job, or I'm taking it, or I'm going to have to try to find a new job, and likely have the same conversation when I go there.
And the thing about you is, like, you kind of established yourself in healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
You can, but it's very hard for you to branch off and to be like, I'm going to go be a chef, or
Yeah.
I'm going to go, you went to school for a long time to
Not
be
even
this.
really, not a long time.
Well, you get what I mean. Like,
But
6-month program, whatever the case may be.
Baby steps. Yeah.
You did that, and now that's your skill set in the
Right.
job hunting that you're trying to do now.
Right. But I could also transition out of the career. But again,
It's harder. And why? Because you worked so hard to do it.
and that's the thing. Why start over if I'm good at what I do? I know what I'm doing. I can bring a lot of help if people are willing to listen.
Yeah.
But the problem is a lot of people don't understand that you can't just walk through life not having confrontation. You have to. Iron sharpens iron,
Yeah.
and you can't get better without being confronted in things. I don't know. I have to look at myself a lot, because I find myself getting upset at things, and I look at why I'm getting upset at things, and most of the time it's just something bothering my ego,
Yeah.
or somebody saying something that really bothered me, and I'm letting it bother me, even if they didn't even mean it.
That's
that way.
so. I love that you just said that. Okay, great example. Like, I love that you help me with karaoke and stuff, but I get so little envious and jealous when I've been doing it for so long for them, and I work my ass off, and I'm pushing myself so hard to sing these songs as good as I can, and then you go out there and you do, like, sometimes you do a mediocre job, and they praise you for it.
Oh, the mediocre ones are their favorites.
But that's what makes me so upset, because I'm just like, but then I have to look at myself, and I'm just like, bro, they're just in another different mindset. Like, they don't understand. They see you every day. They don't see Caleb. Like, they want a different interaction. It's a different experience. They have a monotonous life where everything's the same every day. And those little things I shouldn't get upset about. And I love that you said it, because that's how I think all the time too. It's like, there might be those cases where you get upset about the weirdest, dumbest things, but you have to take a step back and realize why you got upset about it.
You should hear about. Yeah, I get jealous every day hearing about the way some of them talk about you.
Dude,
You should hear. So just know that it's the same here, because you literally get praised by a few of them, and sometimes I'll be like, what the fuck about that one song? I'll be like, I can't even believe it. They're just like, oh, sucking his dick, and I'm like, oh my god, really? But again, it's weird how ego works, right?
Yeah.
What we should be doing is trying to build everyone up. And I don't know why. I was talking about this the other day with somebody about how us New Mexicans, I think it's a very New Mexican trait. We just love fucking knocking each other down. We like being like, oh, there's this one-upism.
Yeah.
built into being a New Mexican. You know, it's like, oh, well, Johnny got a new Denali. Well, fuck Johnny and his Denali. I'm going to get an Escalade.
And when I do, he's going to...
Yeah, and he's going to be jealous of my shit, and I'm going to have the baddest bitch sitting in the seat, and I'm going to have all these kids, and I'm going to have the baddest house, you know. Why did it ever become that? It was my sister I was talking about this. You know, we're so competitive. Why are we so competitive here? What is that a thing, or am I making it up in my head? Because I feel like my whole life, everybody's just been trying to one-up each other. You know, oh, I got a PlayStation. Oh, I got the 72-inch TV. Oh, I've got a brand new Yamaha 50 dirt bike. You know, everything's about one-upism, and we should really just be building each other up, trying to build better things, grow better things, because we're way better together than we are separate.
Yeah, of course. Like the fact that now we do that show together is so much better. Like we branch off of each other. We have better interaction. There's more of a social dynamic now than it just being a job. But that's what's crazy too, is that like we found each other in these different aspects of that building. But I mean, even though you're in healthcare, you have a great open mind and you're a good musician. That's a different mindset than a healthcare worker. That's free liberal. That's like, you know, hippie love. That's like going against the masses. But in healthcare, you're like, you know, more in line to put on the lab coat, put on your scrubs, do the job, and go in that sense.
Be in line. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. But again, a lot of people in healthcare here haven't had the same kind of experiences that we have had. You know, most of them don't do the psychedelic stuff. They don't do the mushrooms. They don't do the acid. They don't do the mind-opening stuff. But if they did, I think they would be a lot more open to a lot of the different ideas. Because reality is very strange, I would say. You know, we get so caught up in our day-to-day lives where we don't even really look at the grander scheme. I mean, I don't watch the news. I don't know if you watch the news.
I mean, if it's like scrolling or stuff like that.
But you have to think about the people that we work with. So think about them. Their whole life is watching the news and interacting with us and the rest of the people around them.
Based on what they saw.
Right. How the fuck could they not be out of their minds constantly if that's all they're being fed? Like, you are what you feed yourself, you know. If you feed yourself all of that negative shit, you know, that's why I watch a lot of comedy. I know you do too. I do that to blow off steam because of the insanity of life. And I gave up watching the news because of that, because I find myself ruminating on all of this, you know, the little things in life, you know, the nonsense that I have no control of, you know, the types of things that are completely unreasonable, you know, like the war in Ukraine, the war in Syria, the war in Israel right now. Yeah, I focus on that kind of stuff, and I go, why would a God create this kind of stuff? Why would the universe allow something like this? Why would he create all of these different colors? Why would he create all of these different races for us to just bicker with one another? That doesn't even fucking make sense to me.
Yeah.
And then I think about, you know, how we were growing up in our tribes. Think about how tribal warfare was. It wasn't like a question, if you didn't have the right color paint or right pelts on, we're killing you, we don't fucking care. Why have we always been like that? You know, we're a competitive species, always and forever. Doesn't matter what we're doing. And life isn't a competition, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Or maybe it is. And maybe that's why I'm losing. Because I'm not trying to win.
But I don't know. I really felt really humbled from that Cat Williams interview. It's 2 hours and 30 minutes, but he says some things that really are profound where you're just like, you just got to be yourself.
Right.
The moment you be yourself and you stop thinking of the around surroundings, you excel as a person. Right. But that's the thing. I'm 33 and have I found myself?
I would say you found yourself.
But what is finding yourself? Because there are those things where I'm still thinking like, man, if I just had a little bit more money, maybe I'd at least get a better place, or like maybe my podcast would be a little bit better if I had a bigger room to like broadcast my stuff in. Or a producer, right?
Sorry.
Like there's those little things where it's just like, I don't think I've found myself yet because I still question what I'm doing.
Well, is that really it though? I think so. Even if you were to find yourself and find that thing that you wanted to do, you wouldn't be fulfilled, right? Or at least I know I wouldn't be. Because I always know that once I finally reach that end goal or whatever it is, there's always something else. You know, it's like in Futurama where what is it? Professor Farnsworth talks about figuring out the grand unified theory, and then he gets all upset because he figures out the grand unified theory, and he's like, well, there's nothing else for me to learn. And then I forget who says it to him, but they say, well, now it's your turn to disprove that. And he's like, I have something to live for.
Okay.
And you're like, well, see, I mean, that really is just life. There's always going to be something more to live for, whether you want it to be there or not. And whatever your goal is, it may not ever make you truly happy.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I've had opportunities to do things musically. I've had opportunities to do things that I thought would make me happy. But in the end, I wasn't always that happy. And like, I don't know, karaoke is literally the highlight of my week.
Yeah.
Most weeks, honestly, if I'm being truly honest. Because, like I said, it's an hour and a half where we're just having fun.
Yeah.
You know, we're not being necessarily real because we have to wear kind of a mask when we're over there. But that's a big problem with the world. You know, a lot of people wearing masks, a lot of people trying to fill roles instead of being real.
Yeah.
And
you that I love it. There's this one thing I did the Tainted Love song, and then Susan says, "Yay, now I can throw my diaper at you." That is beautiful because she knows the situation that she's in, and not only that, she embraced it in an actual comedic way that she's comfortable doing, and it was beautiful. It was one of those things. It was one of those things where it's just like, I made this person happy in a way that she would say something that she probably might have been embarrassed saying it another way. But at that one moment, it was perfect, enlightening in so many ways.
Oh, it was so perfect.
Dude, it's ridiculous but beautiful. Like those are those little things in life that are so sweet that you're just like a great example is when I was in high school, I used to always bring my guitar every day. No amp, no nothing. I would just play a fucking like that. There was this kid in my computer graphics class who used to always see me do that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. But then 5 years later, I ended up being friends with him, and he told me, like, it's because of you that I was influenced to play music, because I saw you do it. And I'm just like, that's one of those things that you never see unravel in the universe because you weren't really part of it, but you were.
Right.
It's crazy.
And you rarely know who you touch.
Yeah, exactly. That's true, too. Like, I mean, there's been some times where people at our facility where they're just like, they leave a note, you know, they're just like, here's a drawing that I did, but in the back it says, thank you for making me have a good time. And, you know, you're just like, was that worth it? Because, I mean, I only get paid a certain amount.
Right.
And, like, that lady's happy. I'm glad I made her happy. But tomorrow I have to deal with all this monotonous shit about people not clocking in on time and people not taking lunches and people not helping each other
and not doing their rounds.
And that makes me seem like, why
do your rounds? It's
like a very, like, I love my job because I know I make people happy, but I'm just like, God, I wish I got paid more.
Well, right. At what cost?
Yes, exactly. And it's so that's rewarding and sad at the same time because I'm just like, I made your grandparents happier than you've probably ever made them.
That's true.
And that's a great karma thing.
Right.
The universe sees that and is like, fuck yeah. But America sees that and they're like, that's only $15.50.
Right. You're worth about $14, son. If you want to make $17, you're going to have to become the manager.
Yeah.
All right.
And that comes with more loopholes.
Yeah. And then we're going to tax the shit out of you. I mean, I can't complain about what I make, but it is true that was the main reason I got into long-term care as a general, because I love old people, but I also like to hang out with the people who don't really have the families. You know, I like to be able to, the outliers, you know, the people that people don't really like. That we've been dealing with some issues lately related to some, but those are my favorite people, the ones that cause the problems.
Yeah.
Because I know I don't know, I'm a troublemaker. I like being a troublemaker. So
and I guess you can kind of understand in the sense of where they're coming from.
Well, that's what I always try to bring to the table. I always go, you have to think about this situation from where the fuck they are. Yeah. They're laying in a hospital bed. They don't know any of you. They probably didn't get greeted the moment they got here.
Yeah.
And now you're walking in the room telling them, hey, we got to do X, Y, and Z. Why'd you shit the bed?
Yeah. What's your name?
What's your name?
First
are you this? Oh, yeah. Sign this. Yeah. All right, I'm going to go order your shit. I'll be back. I mean, come on. And then, yeah, I don't know. It's just old people are a lot of fun. They will tell you the craziest stories. If I wrote a book about all of the dead old people stories that people couldn't even believe, couldn't even fathom the kind of shit that happened. I mean, I'm sure you get all of that kind of stuff because you get to do like nails and stuff with them.
Yeah.
So, oh man, like, am I wrong? Some of the and some of the shit that just happens.
Yeah, you can see it there. You're just like, Jesus, that's ridiculous.
If we could write a whole TV sitcom about it.
The whole epidemic problem behind us, the homeless thing. Like, that's another thing that happens in the facility that we're at. It's like, what the fuck? It's crazy.
Oh, that is, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh.
That's weird, but it happened.
And it is still happening.
Yeah.
That's the crazy thing. A huge homeless camp behind the building. And when I say huge, I mean there's probably, 15 people staying in the one, and then who knows how many staying in the other.
That are deeper in, yeah.
Yeah. Got their own stove, got their own, they recently got kicked out. Which is crazy. I don't know. Homelessness is
But then that's crazy. Our building, the way it works is like homeless guy gets shot, goes to the hospital, ends up having to do rehabilitation, and unfortunately we're lower end, so we're one of the buildings where those guys come in.
Well, you know what's funny about that comment? We're actually, on paper, we're not
That's
that low end.
That's not. I hate that. That's not true.
We're like number 7.
How? In a what? 7 out of 8?
No.
That's so ridiculous though, because you've seen the people that come in our building.
Oh, it's not based on that.
But how? Okay, I don't get it. I don't get how that works. Homeless dude gets his leg chopped off, goes to the hospital, gets it taped, put it back together, and then can't go back into the real world yet, so they have to go to a facility, hence ours. How do they get accepted to do something like that?
Well, the moment they have a payer to get them into a sniff, as long as they have a payer to get in the door.
Where do those payers come from though? That's what confuses me, is like, if this guy's homeless and the only thing he was able to do is like, this is my sister's phone number and this is my brother's phone number. Contact them. Do whatever you have to do and do them. What if they don't get involved? What if they don't have anything to do with this?
A lot of them have Medicaid. A lot of them.
Is that like something that they don't know until they find out, or do they apply for it? Because I know we have those things where like people come in and they're not approved for it yet, so it takes a process to bring them in.
They're typically applied for it already, most of them.
Okay, most of it.
Yeah.
Even
as long as you have a payer when you come in, as long as you have like an HMO that's paying for you to be there and managed Medicaid, you can get in and you don't have to leave necessarily.
That's very confusing. I'm still very confused on how that works.
Well, there's some weird rules about all that stuff, because there's like an ombudsman, which is like the state resident rights, and they're all about making sure that people are being taken care of and not having their human rights ruined or some shit. But I don't know. It's strange. Very strange. Our population has changed in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
It's gone from being old people to people that are closer to our age and like 50.
Yeah.
So like 35 to 50 living there.
Okay.
Which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Because when I started 18 years ago or whatever.
It was all somebody over like 60 or something, right? Old
yeah,
people.
Yeah, it had to be 60. It was mostly 60 and above. I mean, there were a few 55-year-olds, but it's just crazy. And then, the amount of drugs and shit and prostituting, that's wild. Just crazy shit.
It's still very confusing to me. It's hard to understand when I sit there and then I see somebody get wheeled past me and I'm just like, how did that person get in here? Like, how did that work? Like, and then you end up seeing, it's crazy. It
is wild.
All right, dude, we've probably been here for like 2.5 hours.
Oh.
I know you have to leave here soon, so let's try to get some jamming in before you have to go, because I mean, this is a great conversation.
This was a great conversation.
Well, we also came to play music, guys.
That's
we came to
true.
fucking rock.
To fucking rock.
So you brought the PR. This is the one you brought last time, right?
It is. I brought the PRS. I didn't change the strings, but I did bring a whammy bar.
There you go. So we're gonna be jamming, playing some different stuff.
Yeah.
We'll probably throw on a few backing tracks, and we'll just like solo off each other or something. Cool. And then, I don't know, maybe we can teach each other some things. I've been working on this arpeggio that I think you would find pretty interesting. And I know you need to practice arpeggios a little more, so.
Oh, I need all the help with arpeggios.
All right, sound check one, sound check one. One check sound, the sound in the one.
What do you want to play? An E, A, C? Yeah, what was that little thing you wanted to teach me?
So do you know the difference between so when you're playing a triad arpeggio, which one? I know you usually play one. Which one do you use?
But I suck at it.
So that's 2 and 2 on the same one?
No.
Is that it? That's it.
Yeah, it's a simple major or minor arpeggio. Yeah.
Okay, so when you open when you put the finger back, so this is the major one, and then this is the minor when you put one finger back. I'm only doing a 3-string, so. Okay, so that's the major.
Okay.
You can do that anywhere on the fretboard, and that's major.
Right.
So. You feeling it?
I'm just. I suck.
So.
I don't suck. Sorry.
And then when you're doing that, just switch that 1 fret back, and that
Right,
would be
and
the
then-
minor one.
Yeah.
There you go. And then the only way I remember to do the 5-string is just to take the C-shaped chord.
Right. So
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
But it's just the practice of getting the flow of it.
Right. I can't. It's so hard. Which one are you playing? Where are you playing it at?
So,
7th fret, 9th fret?
So yeah, 12. Let's start on the 12. So that's a lick that I really like, and then I tap on 13. 2 more. 13.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's right after it. So and they say when you sweep, the top pickup makes the sound of a sweeping cascade a lot better than the bottom. So. From what I like.
Wow.
Or like you know the 3 for the A minor, right? Yeah, so that wait, no. And do you ever practice with the metronome?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
but I suck with it.
I don't practice with it at all.
I hate it. But I usually just put on shitty music.
And you always have to it's all about I learned this from Matt Heffy from Trivium, is like you have to go glacier mode.
What does that mean?
Super, super slow. That's too fast. There you go. Play the volume now with that.
That tap is so...
It works so good. Because then with the tap, you can tap. You don't have to go back with the sweep. You can start tapping there. Shit like that. And again, you can do it anywhere because you know the minor pattern. It's just one right above it. And technically, we shouldn't even be practicing the 5-string until we get the 3-string down.
All right.
3-string.
Horrible.
Yeah, don't go so fast. I hate that aspect. It pisses me off, but you have to. You have to.
What did I do? Anyways.
That's the beauty. Or pentatonic licks. Just.
I love the pentatonic scale.
Play this lick as fast as you can over and over again. Pick everything.
Right, so it's bip, bump, 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 right?
Slow down. You just gotta keep doing it over and over and over again. I make it a goal to play the same lick at least for 5 minutes straight. 5 minutes. That shit gets horrible sometimes, dude. You sit there and you're just like, have I even reached 3 minutes yet? But
So you set a timer and everything?
And I do that exercise for 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's rough. Okay.
Because when you play those minor arpeggios, it always lands up to do a pentatonic in it. Sorry. That's a good spot too.
Yeah. That's wild. I will practice that. me see. Better tune real quick. Don't be like that, Caleb. Uh-oh, what do you want to play?
I'm gonna throw on just like a jam track,
Alright.
and then we'll just kind of play off each other for a little bit.
Cool.
This is technically 13 minutes anyway, so. See the chord progression on the top? Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll be here all night.
That's right. Oh, neat.
One more. This looked cool. This is supposedly Ultimate Rock Buckethead.
Okay.
Minor B.
You know how to play those B minor nines?
Bastard started soloing.
Buckethead jerk.
He's like, hey, dude,
It's my song.
you're at the end of my track, so I might as well show you what I can do, which is probably better than what you can do.
Probably.
And like, you bastard. What the hell?
Well, damn.
Fucked up my E. I can hear it already.
Well, sorry, I got to run.
No, you're
get
cool.
my wife. But,
It's fine. That was fun.
but I had a lot of fun.
This is the only technique that I think that you should practice on is
Okay.
a weird galloping thing where it's
Okay.
like this sort of sounds like.
It's almost.
Try it.
But no. How does it go?
Damn it, you fucked me up.
Yeah, I know.
Anyways, it's the song from Megadeth called She-Wolf.
She-Wolf.
And in the beginning, it has a really unique galloping pick, which is really great exercise. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
So, fuck.
I know. And it's still, you're missing it. I hear it. Bum ba dum bum ba dum bum ba dum bum ba dum ba dum ba dum.
Send me the tab.
That's one of the most complicated rhythm. Like I always hear gallop beating. I'm just like,
Oh, yeah, that's how I got.
and then there's like a double stop where it's just like. But I just really like that exercise. Like it sounds so cool once you start getting the hang of it. It's just like you'll get it though. It's so sick. Caleb,
Yeah, that was fun.
you're amazing. Thank you for coming to my show.
Thanks for having me.
We'll have to do it again next time. And if you don't know what that is, we're ending on America, baby. Thank you all. You guys have a good night. Tip your bar staff. You guys know.